Okay, we got 3 questions already to start the show off that we're bringing from TikTok. Welcome to Car Shopping Q&A. My name is Deshone, the Auto Advisor. If this is your first time on a live with me, I want you to type the number 1. Welcome to all the first-time people. We do these lives all the time. I see we got Tyler Mom. I see we got Juan Bustos. We got Equus. We're going to get to your question first. We got Lulu just checked in. Shout out to the people checking in on TikTok. And I want you to come in and just focus for a couple minutes. Welcome to the first time people. Thor Dad, Dorothy, welcome. Everybody who's typing the 1, welcome to the show. My mission is I hold myself accountable to, if you listen to me, my goal is for you to know that you have saved thousands of dollars every car you buy. That is the goal, to know. I don't want you to wonder, because what most people do when they buy a car, they hope they did okay. That's the strategy. They leave the dealership. Hey, you think should we have tried to get them down a little bit more? Nah, I think we did okay. You think we got enough for our trade-in? It's a hope. And 99 times out of 100, they didn't get the good price. They didn't. So what I want you to do, and what you're going to be able to do as you tap into what we're talking about, is guarantee every single car you buy, you pay less than everyone else. And there was no way you could have gotten it for a lower price anywhere around you. If you're in New York, I want you to know there was no dealer in New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut that I could have bought this car from that would have sold it to me for less. Okay. And we do this so easily because we do this from home and we use the internet to make this happen. So, all right, so we got our first couple questions. I do want you to know this whole live stream is sponsored by my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can get a copy of this. If you don't want to remember any of what we're about to talk about, you might be like, Sean, 30 minutes from now, you're like, this was great. I don't want to remember any of this. You get the blueprint. It's normally $97, but for 30 minutes, you can get your copy for 75% off. Go into my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio, and you'll get your copy instantly. It'll be in your inbox, 75% off, which is $24, and you'll have everything we're going to talk about and more, because there's strategies that we're just not going to have time to go over today. But if you want the whole blueprint, it's there. On YouTube and Facebook, we have a comment pinned for you guys so you can get your 75% off. Let's get the show on the road, Dolan. So Equus from TikTok asks, how do you deal with those who only want to communicate by phone? Okay, so there's dealers that are not going to come off that. That's why it's important for you to have multiple options. This is so important. The key to overpaying is dealing with 1 or 2 dealers, because what they want you to do is they want you going into the dealers. You lose all your leverage. Leverage is what allows you to get better deals. The more leverage you have, the better deal you can get. Leverage is things like, I don't need a car today. I can buy a car today, but I could also wait until the end of next month. That's leverage. You're not desperate. When you give off desperate vibes, you're losing your leverage. Oh, I need a car today. Oh man, you're one of the only dealers that have this car. I've been looking around for it. These are all things that lose you leverage. You don't even know. This is losing you leverage. So that's why I don't like to talk. But in the event we are talking when we're at the dealership for a test drive only, or if we're at home and we're negotiating online and people say, hey, we only deal by phone. You make one statement. Hey, I'll be handling my entire process from home. None of the other dealers that I've spoken to have said that. Are you open to dealing online, or should I remove you from my list? Let me say that again. None of the other dealers I'm speaking to have said that. Are you open to working with me online, or should I remove you from my list? See how powerful that is? That's one of the scripts in my book. Everything we do is scripts, email scripts. But it's important that everything you do when you're dealing with a dealer end with a question. And I'm going to tell you why. We have something we call the 25 to 5. What's up, Jason? Good to see you. Jeffrey, good to see a lot of people checking in on TikTok. Good to see y'all. Everything you do must portray to the dealers, I'm not one of these other people that you've convinced you're the only game in town. Once they can convince you they're the only one with the car, they're the only one that has the sale, they're the only one that they got you. So everything we do is to show them, we know that no matter how much I like that blue Genesis GB70, there's probably 100 Genesis dealers in the United States, and there's probably 25 within 200 miles of me. And I'm talking to them too. They're in my inbox too. So don't worry if you're like, yo, how do we call? Yo, no, you don't do all of this by talking. You don't want to be doing all of this by talking. You want to be doing this by email. We go direct to the dealer site. Now, let's preface, let me make this clear. This is for new car buyers, anyone who's buying a new car. I want you to type me, or leasing. This is what you use. This is what you use. It's a different strategy when we're shopping for pre-owned cars, because we're going on marketplaces. I'm about to shop for a pre-owned car for my dad, and I'm going to show you how easy it is. Document the whole process, how easy it is to get a below market deal on what he wants based on shopping on marketplaces. But when we are dealing with dealers and we're leasing or we're getting a new car, we are reaching out to 25 dealers online. We go right on their website, send them what we want. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. Copy and paste. Now we have 25 dealers that are, start the competition, y'all. Start the competition. This is how you win, because now who's ever been at a dealer and they're like, well, hey, I'm sorry, I don't have the black one that you want. Good to see you, Kim Burnett, checking in. Jamie, good to see you. Who's been at a dealership and you're like, hey, do y'all have a black one that has the big seats inside? That's what I want. Like, you tell them what you want and they're like, we don't have that. We might be able to get it. Who's heard that before? Who's heard that? Type me if you've heard that. Yeah, and then right, Dorothy, she's like, then they have you sitting for hours. Right, they're trying to find this other replacement vehicle. Wait, do you like this one? What about this one? No, I really wanted the black, and my second choice was the gray. You don't have that either. When you're at home and you're communicating by email with 25 dealers, you give yourself the best shot to have your car. Because now you're not shopping out of 2 dealers' inventory, 1 dealer's inventory. You're shopping out of that 25. So the reason why my strategy in my book is called the 25 to 5, because when we connect with 25 dealers online, we know we're going to get 5 to 7 quotes. And that's the goal. I'm going to cast this wide net. I'm going to get 25 quotes. Now I realize, like Equa said, you're going to get the normal things that you should be using to eliminate dealers. Hey, we only deal by phone. Hey, when can you come in? Hey, we don't provide quotes online. Perfect. None of your competition, none of the other dealers I'm speaking with have said this. Should I remove? Are you open to dealing online, or should I remove you from my list? No one wants to be removed from a list. And here's why every script we have that we use, and I probably in my book, I probably have 20 different scripts based on what they're going to say. And the reason why everyone ends with a question is this. These dealerships have managers that every time they come in to look at what we're a lead, put it like this, anyone in sales knows what that term is, lead, we become a lead. Leads cost money. So when that manager comes to the salesperson and says, hey, why haven't you contacted Marco Sanchez? He said he was looking online. He gave you everything you needed. What's going on? Why haven't you contacted this woman, Shanice Johnson? What's happening? I see she asked you if you were willing to deal online. You just stopped communicating. Now they're the blame. That's the whole thing. So once you know how to, in each script with a question, throw it back to them. First thing we're doing when we're talking to all of these dealers online by email is, do you even have a vehicle I want? See, a lot of times you guys go wrong. You're reaching out to the dealership. Hey, can I get a quote on this vehicle? You're going wrong there. And I'm going to tell you why. As someone who I've floored hundreds and hundreds of leads, being in Mercedes, being in General Motors, I was the one looking at that. You're not giving them what they need. So what we need to do right from the start is, before I even ask you for a quote, before I even tell you anything, do you have a car that matches my interests? That's step one. So once we find out, okay, they have a car. See, because what you're going to find when we connect with 25 online, maybe 10 of them don't even have a car. That's great. 15 do. Out of 15, now let's go to the next step. Request my quote. And the next issue, I see, shout out to the sharers. Everyone who's hitting the share button, we appreciate you. Everyone who, I always want to shout out the sharers. People who send this video to people, hey, yo, you got to watch this. This is because we don't play games over here. So shout out to the sharers. We can't do this without you. Hit the arrow, hit the paper plane. It matters. We appreciate you. So what we're not doing now that we need to is give the dealer what they need to give us a quote. That's partially the problem. We don't realize, again, this is not for used cars. This is strictly my new car buying strategy. This is the same strategy that all of these people I show you in the broadcast have used to get these below market prices. When y'all hear these prices and y'all be like, oh, this is not what I'm paying. I got that same car. I didn't get $15,000 off, $8,000 off, $20,000 off. These are the same tactics that they use. It's a competition. You have to give dealers certain things or they can't give you a quote. You got to give them your zip code. They got to factor in the tax. We need to know what kind of vehicles do you have in the household. That's conquest rebates, loyalty rebates. We need to know what you do for a living. See if you qualify for any incentives there. There's certain things, what credit tier should we assume? So when we say, the reason why I created these templates that you'll have, literally, you get your copy of Cars from Home, it's 5-star rated. You'll have all the templates. But like I said, if you're like, Deshone, I'm writing down everything. I'm going to remember all of this. God bless you. God bless you. I'm going to give you the game. For those of you who don't want to remember it, get your copy of Cars from Home in my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook floating link there. And you get it for 75% off for 30 minutes. You won't pay the $97 price, as long as you get there before 30 minutes. So the reason we have these templates set up is because I need you to be able to simply copy and paste and send them out to multiple dealers. You're sending the dealers the same thing. You're not changing. You're sending every dealer the same thing. So now every dealer has the exact same information and they can actually compete. And those who, remember this, there's an 80% that I need you guys to know about. The 80, some of you have heard of the 80-20 rule. 8 out of 10 dealers are overpriced. Doesn't matter how much you negotiate with them. Their lowest price is going to be a lot higher than their competition. When you hear somebody say, hey, Mr. Haywood, we appreciate you, but this is my best price. I can't get the manager to go any lower than that. Who's heard that? Who's heard that? Who's been in a dealer and they just like, listen, you beat me down. This is the best price. I can't get any. You basically still in the car, right? God's anointed. When you heard that, Cheryl, you heard it. Okay, so now, definitely heard that before, right? They're not necessarily lying. What you have to know from this particular point on in your life is that is only your best price. That's not Nissan's best price. People will say, hey, I went to Nissan, man, those cars are high. No, I went to Nissan of Bay Ridge, got a price from them. It was high. One Nissan dealer, these are all independently owned franchises competing. They report at the end of the month who sold the most cars. They get awards for that. Best in class, best in the region. They're competitors. This is the secret to you saving more money than you've ever saved without even trying. Putting the competitors against each other is how you save the money. And once they have somebody who they know is making them compete against their competitors, you're going to pay less than everyone else. It's not even a game. The person in that dealer, if they're at a dealership and they're what we call, I want y'all to remember this, type it if you know, the 80%. Everybody who's getting this point, I want you to type 80% into the chat. That means you're getting it. 80% of dealers, no matter how good of a negotiator you are, they're never going to give you the price that their competition could give you. They're never going to do it. Look, Kimberly got a Maserati not too long ago. It was a $91,000 car. They took off $20,000. The dealer that won her bid was a 20% dealer. See, we got the 80% dealers that don't want to compete. They're going to make sure, yeah, I'll take off $4,000, but I'll leave myself another $3,000. I'll take off $6,000, but I'm not going to give you the $2,000 rebate that you don't know about. Yeah, I'll take off $2,000, but you're not going to know that I'm sitting on another $5,000. I'm not giving that up. That's the 80%. They're not going to give it up. But when you sit at home, you do look like Kimberly did, save 20 grand. Like Sean did, got 20 grand off his F-150. Like we just had, my God, the biggest discount any of my people who follow me ever got that was reported to me was this one. Oh my goodness, she saved almost $30,000. I said, you definitely got the record. Now again, it's different for every car. We never know where the bottom is. This is Milligan. She got it. It was a $79,000 vehicle. She got it for $51,000. Now, in that was $20,000. It was a $20,000 plus discount, a $7,500 rebate. She found a dealer. That's the 20%. That's why we cannot go and look for the 20%. We can't walk in and hope, I wonder if I'm in a 20% dealer. You don't know. The only way you know is you sit at home, you make these dealers compete against each other, and then you see the best ones. Wow, you're a whole lot less. You're the 20%. All of them was trying to overcharge me. That's the key. That is the key. All right. Great question, Equus. All right, let's pull up the next one. I know we got a lot more. I just wanted to go deep on that. Feel sorry for you for buying that Maserati. She leased it, so she's enjoying it. You know, you can say whatever you want to say, but you know, people enjoy it. And what we do, quite honestly, is we take the steps to make sure that the vehicles we are looking at have great public data. That's one of the steps. And step 4 of my book is called Shopping, Not Buying. We actually take these steps to check these vehicles and check the data, check the initial quality, check the reliability. So, you know, she's enjoying her Maserati. Trust me, every day she's enjoying it. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Okay, KLK, good to see you. 2023 Camry XSE under 30,000 miles. What's a good price? We only know by competing. Now let's talk used, because this is a used question. Now let me tell you this. This is very important about recent year used car shopping. This is very, very important. Those of you who you're like, Deshone, I want a used car, but I only want one that's like 1 year old, maybe 2. 2 problems that you need to think of that we need to take seriously. Dealers only get used cars by buying them from auction, buying them after people lease them, or buying them from their customers or who trade them. Those are the only 3 ways dealers get pre-owned cars. What do you think the odds are that they're getting a 1 year or 2 year old pre-owned car? Unless there was a 2-year lease, they're not going to see a lot of them. Unless they bought unless someone bought the car and said, all right, I don't like it, and came and traded it in 2 years, they're not going to get a lot of them. Problem with that is we don't have pricing to compare it to. See, when we're shopping for a pre-owned car, I'm about to shop for a 2021 Ford Explorer for my father. That's his first choice. I know I have hundreds of vehicles to compare, assess the market, see what the low side of the market is first. When we go in these marketplaces, we need to see what the low side of the market is, where the high side is, and we're targeting the low side. But when we don't have enough vehicles to do that, this is a dangerous zone. Now, let me tell you what could happen. And then I'll tell you what you should do first to make sure you don't get jammed up like this. When you see a vehicle that is okay, let me go back to this big discount example. So you got a big discount. Milligan saves $27,000 off a new Mercedes, right? You guys can see it if you're on Instagram, if you're on YouTube. Even a regular deal where somebody saves $6,000, like Tiffany, she saved $65, almost $7,000. If somebody walks in to buy this vehicle 1 year old, they don't realize that the new market on that vehicle is almost $7,000 off. So they might look at a $44,000 vehicle that was originally $45,000, but today it's a 1 year old one. It has 8,000 miles on it. We're asking $35,000. All right, could you do 34? Because the new ones are 44. The new ones are 44. So maybe I could buy a 1 year old one for like 35. Okay, so all right, I buy it for 35. Problem is, the new market for that vehicle was 37 and change. So for $2,000 more, you could have got a brand new one. Does that make sense? Type locked in if that makes sense. I'm buying a 1 year old version of this vehicle. Sometimes people do this with 2 year old versions. They'll go in and they're like, okay, I see I'm saving $10,000 off a brand new one. I'm saving $12,000 off a brand new one. Well, so I'm gonna get this used one because it's $10,000, $12,000 less. Well, what happens if you could have saved $8,000 off the brand new one? You have to know the market for the new one when you're buying a vehicle that's that recent, that doesn't have a ton of competitors. And let's get even drastically more serious on how we could lose. Somebody like Sean, he gets the F-150. He saves $20,000. Let me pull up Sean's deal. This is and we'll get to the point of what you do to avoid this. But I need you to know how bad this is first. Sean gets a $20,000 discount off a brand new $73,000 F-150 using my shop from home strategies. Same strategies you're going to have in Cars from Home, the book. Get your copy immediately. So he gets this. What happens if somebody pulls up on a 1 year old or 2 year old F-150 Lightning that was originally 73? Now they see a dealer is listing it for 50. That sounds good, right? 2 year old F-150, 50,000. All right, that's got to be a good price. Now they buy a 2 year old one for 50. They think they won. They're driving around. Man, this truck was 73,000 new. I got mine for 50. Didn't realize that the brand new market on a brand new one with the rebates and the biggest discount you can get was 20,000 off. So for 7,000 more, you could have got a brand new one. Never titled, no owner. You're the first owner. But you bought a 2 year old one, you saved $7,000. No, you didn't. You overpaid because when you go to resell that vehicle one day, or when you go to assess it and see what it really worth, you overpaid for it. That's the dangerous part with recent year cars. So the first thing I would tell you to do, KLK, is anyone who's shopping for a 1 or 2 year old pre-owned vehicle, shop the new market first. That's going to tell you if there's any incentives, rebates, anything that will affect the pre-owned market. If they're having trouble moving, anytime you see a $15,000 discount, $10,000, $8,000, that means those vehicles new aren't easy to move. We need some factory incentives, which means that moves over to the, if I could save 10 grand off a new one, how much do I want to save off a pre-owned one? You get what I'm saying? If I could save 10 grand off a new one, how much should I be saving off the pre-owned one? 16? How much should I be saving? So this is only for you guys who are shopping recent. If you're going 3 years and 4 years back, you don't have to worry about this because you'll have enough vehicles, enough choices to comparatively shop. But those of you who are shopping 1 or 2 year old, you must shop the new market first. let that be the indicator of how much discount I should be getting off of a 1 or 2 year old. Okay? All of the strategies for shopping new, pre-owned, leases, all in my book, step by step. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps of Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealership. We're already 5-star rated. Thank you to everyone who's rated it, reviewed it, wrote about how you used it. We appreciate you helping us get this out. Everyone, you can get your copy for 75% off. For the next 30 minutes, you'll have everything we're talking about in this stream, step by step. It'll be in your inbox in 5 minutes. Okay, just make sure when you get your copy, though, you do screenshot the thank you page. It has the support email on there. Just in case you type your email wrong, you can reach out to my support team. Make sure you get your book. There's also the link to open your book as soon as you buy it. So as soon as you buy it, you'll see, click below to open the book. And it's 75% off as long as you get there before the 30 minutes is up. So TikTok bio, Instagram bio, take the time. You come back to the stream after, go get your book. YouTube, we have a comment for you in the pinned comment. And then Facebook, you'll see a floating link for you guys. Get your 75% off. All right, Dolan, next question. So Carolyn, do you trust Consumer Reports Buying Guide annual car reports? That's a great question. Not necessarily. We don't know who's paying for what. We don't know when it comes to these third-party resources. We like to say in a perfect world, Consumer Reports is taking the issues that people report and they're actually just publishing them. But when I see people that charge for this types of information, it makes me a little leery because that should be public information. But that's okay. They got a business to run. Understandable. But unless it is direct from the all right, let's say 100,000 people buy a Honda Civic today. I mean, this year. Anyone who has an issue, it should be reported. Consumer Reports should know about it. So if you're driving a Honda Civic and you see a strange light come on, you should be able to know that 10,000 other owners reported that same strange light. This is not usually how it works. So what I do, Carolyn, is I have a process. This is in step 4 of my process. We call this shopping, not buying. You are spending way too much time getting your car and not enough time researching your car. Who's known somebody, be honest, who ends up with a car and the thing is in the shop almost every other month? Every time you see them. Type ouch if that was you. If it's you, be like, man, if you've ever had a car and it was like every 3 months, like there's another light on. Now I got to take it to the shop. Now they're saying we need this. Now the electrical system is going. All of this, just if that's you, type ouch. If you know somebody like that, just type me. So these are the steps we take. And I appreciate the people being honest. That's how we unlearn here. Look, I'm the bad news first person, y'all. If y'all don't know that about me by now, if this is your first stream with me, you definitely don't know that. I'm bad news first because I'm not meeting you in a place where you're like, if I ask you what's your shopping strategy, you're not going to give me a shopping strategy. Honestly, as an ex-car salesman, that impresses me. That guarantees you pay less than everyone and avoid problem cars. So I'm always meeting people in a bad place. And I got to tell you how much these mistakes are costing you. Thousands of dollars. And they were avoidable. That's the biggest thing. They were avoidable mistakes. So when we use this step 4, it's called shopping, not buying. We type in the exact year, make, and model into Google, and we want, there's 3 different categories that we're looking at. And Carolyn, this takes us literally 5 to 8 minutes to prevent us from having cars that everyone else knew was a nightmare car, but we didn't. We go in, let's say we're looking at a 2017 Hyundai Sonata. 3 categories you got to keep in mind. Initial quality. That tells us everything we need to know about the car in the first 3 months. What are owners saying about the car in the first 3 months? Reliability. What are owners saying about the car the first 3 years? Longevity. What are the experts that study engines and transmission? What are they saying about the car in the long run? Those are the three categories that you guys burn into your head. If you have my book, you don't need to burn them. Initial quality, reliability, longevity. These are three totally different data points. So we go in, we type in 2017 Hyundai Sonata initial quality. That'll tell us when it was new, what were they saying about it? Were they saying it was an electric problem? Were they saying this car has less than normal quality? Okay, and we just skim Google. That's it. Skim those first couple articles. You don't even need to go to the second page. Do not go to any dealership or brand sponsored site. So if you're looking at a 2017 Hyundai Sonata and you like, don't go to Hyundai of Westmount, see their little blog article they wrote about it. No, you want third party independent people, skim it. Then we type in 2017 Hyundai Sonata reliability. Skim the articles. Any red flags? Any red flags? Then, if you're buying a pre-owned car, those of you who are leasing, you don't need to do this. But if those of you who are buying a new car or buying a pre-owned version, you want to type in 2017 Hyundai Sonata longevity. 8 minutes. 8 minutes. To prevent. I've had people that's like, man, Deshone, once you told me about that quality search, the vehicle I was looking at, I had to eliminate it because they were saying it has electrical problems. That year. That particular year, because sometimes the 2019 has electrical problem, the 2020 is fine. That means the manufacturer took the steps, saw the reports, saw that the reliability was lower than normal, people were reporting it, and then the following year they corrected it. Who's heard never buy a car the first year it comes out, or never buy a car when it has a new engine, or a new electrical system, or a new transmission? This is what happens. So that's why each year is important. But this is how these little things, see, because some people look and be like, Deshone, how long does it take you to get these deals? How long does it take all of these people to get these deals? When you're good, 90 minutes. Your first time, it'll take you about 2.5, 3 hours. By the time, before one visit to the dealership, by the time it would take you to get in a dealership, get in your car, go drive to a dealership, have them, hey, I'm here to see Charlie. Go get Charlie, pull up a car. Hey, yeah, they got to pick it out. No, Charlie, you got a white one? Now, next thing you know, by the time you did that, the total time, we already talking to 25 dealers. We already seeing the whole used car market. You at one dealer. They're at one dealer. It's leverage. So once you get good, you'll be able to get deals in 90 minutes. Now, I don't suggest you do your research in 90 minutes. I suggest when you are test driving cars and you're deciding what you want, don't rush that. Don't rush that. People call me, people DM me, Deshone, I got a car, I had it 6 months, I'm trying to replace it. You're about to lose a ton of money. You can't buy a depreciating asset and replace it in 6 months and not lose thousands of dollars. Many of you know that. If you buy a car today, try to take it back tomorrow, you already lost $5,000. So you can't switch it. So the problem is we don't spend enough time shopping. That's deciding what we want. And this is the process. So what you're hearing is a process. I know you're not used to this. It sounds like I always just wing it. Yeah, you wouldn't wing a house purchase, right? And if you did, you'd expect to lose. I could wing my house purchase. I don't really care. Just, boom, here's my application. All right, now home inspection, all that. All right, now they told me it was bad. You just wing it. How would that turn out? But the second most expensive purchase of our lives, most people out there winging it. So when you come over to this world, you no longer are winging it. You're following a predictable process of making sure I'm paying less than everyone and making sure I get quality vehicles. Okay, so no, Carolyn, I'm not going to say I don't trust Consumer Report, but I would certainly add to my research and do those three searches that I just talked about: initial quality, reliability, longevity. Any car we buy, we're going to do that to make sure that we're not getting a bad car. There's no guarantees, but it definitely is us taking the steps to see where the data is, to try to protect ourselves from a bad decision. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. Tons of people you get a good price. I teach you to get a good price. You get a bad car. You lost. You know what I'm saying? Sharon, good to see you. My son has a 2002 Chevy Blazer. We're trying to purchase a used SUV as possible without making payments, maybe 10,000 or less, or maybe more. Any thoughts? So that's a Facebook Marketplace play. What we do when it comes to Facebook Marketplace, here's what you have to understand. You're looking for an owner. Anything under 10 grand, this is where the gems are, Facebook Marketplace. Because here's the thing. You're either going to buy private party or you're going to buy retail. The thing about retail is at a dealership. Retail in that price point, you're seeing a lot of crap. Not only are you seeing a lot of crap, you're seeing vehicles that were bought by dealers for $2,000, $5,000. Dealer puts $1,500 into them or whatever they put into them, turns around and sells the vehicle. Very, very light history on those vehicles. Don't really know what happened with them, who had them. Yeah, you can get a Carfax, but sometimes it's 3 owners. It's just you're literally going through. It's a needle in a haystack. And the sorting process that we use to buy our used cars, we sort it down based on title, based on service records, based on accident records. That's how we sort it down. Then we go into pricing. But in terms of just how we sort from the hundreds and hundreds of cars we look at online to our top 5, title history, service records, accident history. Once we know where the low side of the market is. So you got to look and say, all right, these older cars with higher mileage that I would find at a dealership for $6,000, they don't know anything about them. They don't know who had them. They don't know who owned them. They don't know the history. When we go to Facebook Marketplace and we sort for owners, we are now able to find people that know the car. They've had the car for 10 years, 8 years. This is what we want. Now, you're going to have a lot of dealers that put their owners, you got to ask the right questions. Hey, how long have you had the car? When you start hearing, and some of them have certain voices where it's a dealer. Man, I know you're a dealer. Like, we don't buy from them because all they did was go to the auction, pick up a car, now they're trying to flip it. And that's not a problem if you knew the history of the car. Because you don't know the history of this car with 80,000 miles or 110,000 miles, I'm taking on the risk. Because once you sell it to me, it's my problem. No warranty. Many of these cars you're not getting a warranty with. But when you buy from a grandfather or a grandmother or someone who's had their car for 9 years, 10 years, and the only reason they're selling it is because they got a new car or they needed a bigger car and they can tell you everything about that car. Yeah. This is right here. I was coming out the garage and I kind of nicked the mailbox. That's where I got that scratch from. That's what you want. That's priceless. You make a deal with those people. You pay you pay your local mechanic to come with you. Once you find that vehicle, you pay him $100. Can you come and take a look at this vehicle with me? Give me your opinion on it. This is like a home inspection. We don't mind paying $500 or $600 or $800 for a home inspection. Why? Because it protects us. It protects us from bad decisions, which lose us more money. So when we pay a company like yourmechanic.com, or if we have a local mechanic, some of you know I preach, you must have a local mechanic. You actually pay them, come here, take a look. Now you got out of Dodge $5,000, $7,000. You got a car that you know you could drive for the next 3-4 years. You know the history of it. It was taken care of. You looked at the Carfax. You validated that everything the owner told you was official. This is priceless. That's how I would be shopping if I had less than $10,000 to spend. That's what I would be shopping for all day long. Private party owner. All right. So, yeah. Let's go, Dorothy. Good to see you. No. You're not getting anything good for under 10,000. You're not getting anything good for under 10,000. See, some people will put their projections on you. Hang on 1 second. 1 second. Some people will put their projections on you. And we don't do that. Hang on 1 second, y'all. All right, perfect. Yeah, so listen, it's very important that when y'all step over to this world, You don't listen to anyone else who cannot shop. It is extremely important. We are in our own bubble over here. Those of you, look, if you're on YouTube, just the fact we can post deals. You see people posting their numbers. Everyone posts their cars. These are people in my private group. Anyone who wants to know about my private group, you could go with shopwithdeshone.com. It's in my bio. Because I teach people how to learn no matter how they want to learn. Some people want to learn directly working with me. Some people want to learn by getting the blueprint. I don't care how you get it, but get it. Here's the point. You notice everyone here that I'm showing post their deals. They post the numbers. No one that you know posts their numbers when they buy a car. All they do is post the car, because the car they like. The numbers they don't really love. They're not confident in them. So when you hear people that project their beliefs, there's no deals out here. What's going to happen is that's going to be like a bubble for you. That's going to, because there's no deals for you. You don't know how to get great lease deals. You don't know how to get deals that are, you see those commercials? The leases are so expensive. You don't know how to not pay those prices. No one that we lease, look, Ansley got a $58,000 car, $554 a month, no down payment. 99% of the people we shop with get leases, no down payment. They don't even put a down payment down. Same thing with purchases. Everything in my book is teaching you how to shop with no down payment, because that has nothing to do with the deal you get. A down payment has nothing to do with the deal you get. If you walk in right now and there's a $40,000 car and they sell it to you for $50,000, here's a $40,000 car. I'm gonna sell it to you for $50,000, but you don't have to put any money down. Is that a deal? No or no? No or no? So you have to understand that as you learn to shop, everyone around you who doesn't know how to shop, they're struggling. That's why I'm welcoming all the people that's locked in. We've gotten over 10,000 books delivered this year. That's 10,000 people that have a blueprint for how to pay less than everyone else. But 60 million people a year buy cars. So we realize. So what I want you to understand is, anytime you're moving with these cars, you're going to see just blood around you. You're going to see people who, my God, I can't believe this. They would never show you their contracts. Look at your car. Oh, I see you got a new car. Hey, how much you paying for that? And listen, I don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about that. You have to be aware that that's what the world is doing. But that ain't what we're doing. That's why I show you dozens and dozens of people. Every page you visit, whether it's my book page, shop from my home page, we got videos, other people trying to tell y'all, hey, come over to our world. Because that world over there that's a tough world to be in. Y'all, so stay away from people who try to project their beliefs on you. They struggle. All right, let's go. All right, go ahead. Next question, Dolan. Okay, Dorothy, why do they run your credit with all these banks? Well, first of all, you let them. So you got to understand, you're letting them. We use something called the bank bidding war. So the best thing for you to understand, Dorothy, is what the banks allow and how they allow you to shop rates. All right, when someone is trying to shop rates for you and they work for the dealership, here's what they're trying to do. What's the highest rate this person can pay? And we still make a deal. That is how a finance manager shops you to banks. So if a bank is looking, that's why you notice, who notices this? If you ever are talking to a car dealership and they give you a quote, which is why we never get quotes in dealerships ever under any circumstances, when they give you a quote, when you ask them, well, what's the rate you're using for that? What do they say? They start backpedaling. Oh, well, we don't really know, we're assuming like, maybe 6.9, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, okay, no, we're using 7.9 for the quote. Why are they doing that? It's something called padding the deal. All right, we're about to do some more unlearning. All right, If you're unlearning, type UR. The letter U, letter R for unlearn, relearn. See, we gotta dump what we've learned about car shopping in order to receive this. Okay? All right, I see you. So now, the biggest thing, one of the biggest things, they're all big, but you have to learn is there's 3 different parts of the car buying transaction. Who you buy your car from, who you get your loan from, who you sell your old car to. Now, be honest, if you've ever, and could everybody hit the share button? I know everybody's not going to hit the share button, but could the sharers hit the share button? Because there's certain people that come in and they like all the good information, they always share. I need y'all. I'm talking to you. Can you find the share button on any platform you're at and share this? Shout out to the sharers. Always appreciate you. So there's 3 transactions. If you've ever given a dealer a sale, bought a car from them, and you gave them your loan, and you traded in your car to them, say, type me if you've done that. You bought a car from a dealer, gotten the loan from the dealer, traded your vehicle into the dealer. Who's done that? Type me. All right, Boz. Thank you. Thank you, Boz, for being honest. All right. Thank you, Craig. Thank you for being honest. You gave them 3 transactions. So how do I know we gave them 3 transactions? How are you going to know? Because there's companies that want to compete for your loan. They don't sell cars. We didn't give them a chance. There's banks and credit unions that want to compete with the same, with different banks. The dealerships might have 10 banks, 12 banks, 8 banks, depending on the size. But there's banks and credit unions outside of there that's like, hey, we love to get a shot. You're buying a car. Hey, can we be in the runnings for your loan? We don't sell cars. We sell money because there's big money in the money business. So now we didn't give them a chance. So that means the person who was trying to sell me the loan, we let them make the decision for us. We didn't shop on the open market. Now, second transaction, there's people that want to buy your cars. There's companies, I list 6 of them in my book: CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer connects you with a local dealership to get a bid. AutoNation connects you with a local dealership to get a bid. Car Gurus connects you with a local dealership to get a bid. So that's 6 companies that in 20 minutes you put in your car's information, you do the 5-minute appraisal, boom, they tell you, hey, this is what we can pay cash. They don't care if you buy something. They're not trying to sell you anything. They want to buy your vehicle. We didn't give them a chance. We got 1 offer from the same dealership we bought a car from. 3 transactions. So part of maximizing all the money we save is being able to bid out each one of the transactions. I'm going to say that again. Part of making sure you get all the money due to you in a car transaction is I'm bidding out each part of these transactions. Type, like, I don't know. Type $signs if you understand that how powerful this principle is. Type $signs if you understand that the bidding out of each transaction is how we guarantee we save the money. See, what the dealers want, what the car salespeople want, who they want to play with all of that money. Give me all the money. Craig, come on in. All right, listen, you want to buy this car? All right, let's take a look. Listen, don't worry about the numbers. We're going to work the numbers out. Now, you got to trade in too? You got to trade in too? Yeah, all right, I see the trade in. Don't worry. Listen, one thing about us, we never lost a deal over price. Who's heard that? This is all. People say, oh, this guy couldn't sell cars. That's why he teaches now. How hard is it to sell cars? Like when you move and you're like, giving them that, here's what the dealer has. Here's what the dealer. All right, I got about $5,000 of wiggle room in this car. Then I got a $2,000 rebate. All right, then I could go with the rate. I could play with the rate Now, salesman's not going to play with the rate because they don't touch the finance manager's money. But when I was in Ray Katina, we were our own finance managers. 2 Mercedes dealers I worked at. We ran our own numbers at Morristown, but we did not control of Ray Katina. We were the finance manager too. So we sold the car, we did all the paperwork, application into the bank, went over the products, extended warranties, one person. So that's why a lot of these car salesmen can't understand what I teach, because they haven't been a manager. They've never been a finance manager. They don't even understand. But this is what that. So there's money there. There's cushion there. There's probably $2,000-$3,000 of wiggle room in the rate. Then we got more money in the trade. Okay, well, I know the trade. The used car manager says, all right, that car is worth no more than 18. All right, well, I'm gonna go start them at 16. So now we got $2,000 of wiggle room over here in your old car. Now we got $7,000 of discount in the new car. Now I got a little more room in the rate I could play with. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start them so high on the rate that I'm gonna have me another $2,500 that I could play with here. So I'm really dealing with like $11,000 that I can move around. If you get this, say, well, I see the dollar sign. I see the dollar signs. Like, people getting this. That's why, see, there's several things that car dealers don't want you to do. The biggest thing is keep doing what you've been doing. The biggest thing that car dealers want you to keep doing is just do what you've been doing. Don't change nothing. Don't change nothing. Negotiate a little harder. You feel a little better. That's what they want. The last thing they want you to do is separate your transactions, bid them out online in minutes. I'll know what my trade is worth. I gotta do that for my mother's lease coming due. I'll be doing that, recording these videos because we document this. I document this for my people in Cars from Home Done With You. They see me shop. They're shopping with me, because I need cars too. That's the beautiful thing about what I do. I need cars, so it's like every time I buy a car, I just document it. People who follow me, people who work with me personally, just follow the same steps, get the same result. It's not rocket science, but I'll know in 20 minutes if she has any equity in her lease. Last lease, when prices were up, we sold her car. She made $10,200. Now, everyone was making money if you were selling a car. I was telling people in 2021, 22, cash out. You're never going to see this again. I don't care what car you got. Sell it, cash out, put $7 grand, $10 grand, $12 grand in your pocket. People were getting out of negative equity deals because every car was worth $10,000 to $12,000 more than the normal price. Now the thing's back to normal. But we check for equity. This stuff takes minutes. This stuff doesn't take hours to do. We're on computers. We can visit this website, type this in. Oh, thanks. Got my equity. That's what dealers don't want you doing. Separating your transactions, bidding them out online, letting multiple people compete for your business. They can't stop it. There's nothing they could do. That is literally the car salesman's kryptonite. I used to do a masterclass, and I would talk about the 2 fears of every car salesman. And I don't care, the best car salesman in the world. I mean, I've sat next to people who make, there's some of the best in the world. Some of the people I've sat down with at Ray Katina, when I worked there, was Yankee Stadium. Guys making $300,000 a year, $350,000, the consummate professionals. Kryptonite was customer won't come into the dealership, customer makes us shop competitors, makes us compete against competitors. That's all my book teaches you to do. Not going to the dealership unless you're test driving, make them compete. Exploits the 2 fears of every car salesman for your benefit. That's it. So all of this is in my book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. That is literally the name. Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. And you can get your copy for 75% off. You won't pay the normal $97 price. It's in my TikTok bio. But you only got 30 minutes. If you visited that site and the timer's down, if it's 2 minutes, once it goes to 0, it's $97. And it's still worth every penny. Go read those reviews on Goodreads. You won't read those reviews and not be like, oh yeah, this book is definitely worth $97. Go hear from your peers. You heard from me. You know, we'll be on here for another couple minutes. I want to answer a couple more questions for sure. But go hear from your peers. Go hear from the people who was like you on a live, met me on a live. Go hear from them. We got them everywhere. We post them everywhere. All right. But yeah, on YouTube, we have a comment pinned for you. If you're on YouTube, you can get your 75% off in the pinned comment. And Facebook, we have a link floating for you guys to get your 75% off. All right. Make sure as soon as you get your book, you screenshot the thank you page. It has the support team's email on there, just in case you type your email wrong. You're doing fast, trying to get back to the broadcast, and then you type your email wrong. Make sure you have the support team's email so they can get you your book. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Pull the next question in. Hang on 1 second. All right. Can we pay you to do all of this for it? No, I'm gonna tell you why. One, you wouldn't be able to afford it. It would only be for the wealthy, because a person who's buying a car who appreciates their time is going to pay me and my team $700 to $1,000 to make sure they get a below market deal and show them what the whole market was and shop all of these dealers for them. But they don't realize they're paying for a process that takes us 90 minutes. So when you say, can you pay someone to do it? Unless they're giving you a market report. This is why brokers are ripping you guys off, because anyone who what they're doing is they're basing it off of your fear and your dread, and they're saying, well, just trust me. So you're still giving someone else the same way I just said. You're giving all the car dealers those 3 transactions. You're just giving them to a broker. Get me my loan. Get me this. Don't mark it up. No, unless they're bringing you a market report saying, hey, yeah, we shopped 25 dealers for you. Here was their offers. These dealers didn't have a car. Hey, we shopped the entire used car market for you. Here's the low side of the market. Here's the high. Here's the top 5 that we narrowed it down to. They're doing you a disservice. Here's the offers we got for your old car directly from the people who are going to buy it. All right, pay me my money, and then here, go pick up your car, go sell your car here. What we do takes 90 minutes. Now, I could do it in 90 minutes. As I said in the beginning, you going through the book, it's going to take you 2.5 hours, 3 hours. It's not going to take you more time than you would spend in one dealership. But that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. If this was a 10-hour process, 12 hours, yeah, maybe we charge and we create a team to do this for people. Oh, no, you're going to pay me and we're going to make $200, $300 an hour for our expertise, because you're going to pay us $700 to $1,000 and we're going to get a deal done for you in 90 minutes. So we're really making like $500 an hour, which is fine. But I'd rather teach people to fish than fish for them. Like, we're not building rocket ships here. We're going on websites and we're copying and pasting. Believe in yourself. Go ahead, Dolan. Let me make sure I get this. Okay, Cheryl, do you get the upgraded version in the same link that you bought the book before? No, you get the okay, so if you bought Cars from Home, anytime I update the book, I update the master file. I'm glad you asked this question, Cheryl, because I didn't even mention this. This is just more value that I give to the people that take action. I've updated that book probably, originally it was called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. So some of you have that version. And then I updated it, created Cars from Home. What I did is I went into the master file, replaced it with the new version, and everyone who went and opened that book, they were like, oh, wow, the name has changed. Oh, wow, this content has changed. Oh, wow. This is what we do. This is why I saw somebody in the comments says, is there any way to get a physical book? A physical book, you would have to pay every single time a website changes. Vroom went out of business. Vroom used to compete to buy our cars. Vroom, every time we have 8 marketplaces we shop. When we were shopping for used cars, In my book, I have something called the multiple marketplace strategy. We're on cars.com, Car Gurus, Carfax, Auto Trader, Driveway, Carvana, CarMax, and eBay Motors. We're on 8 marketplaces. Vroom used to be there. It used to be 9. Vroom went out of business. If you had a physical book, what happens now? Now you got to wait for volume 2. Oh, here's the new version. Now you're paying again. We went right into the master file, took Vroom out, updated it. No one saw Vroom again. These are things we could only do with a digital book. Some people go digital for their own reasons. They make a digital book for their own reasons. Cars from Home is digital because it's the best way for it to be. I link you to scripts. If you're reading and you're not able to open the scripts and copy and paste, you click a link, you open all my, when you contact dealers, new cars and leases, there's a link you hit, open my scripts up, and you copy and paste them. You should be on a computer. We're car shopping on computers. So to be reading a physical book about car shopping on a computer, that just doesn't match. If you're reading about investing in stocks, sure. You're reading about other things, great. But we're car shopping online. The book should be online. So that's it. And anyone who has the book knows there'd be no way for that to be a physical book. I link you to certain videos. There's all types of stuff, bonuses in there, surprises, but wait, there's more. But not charging you for it. You're buying it and you're like, whoa, I didn't know he got videos in here that he links to. That's just all we do. We want to be the most valuable company to the car buyer. We take that very serious. Go ahead, Dolan. Yep, got mine. Good. I see you. Shout out to everybody who got their copy. Enjoy it and use it. Use it. What's up, Gladys? I need your help for my 24-year-old daughter that needs an affordable used car for work commute. We are in Raleigh, North Carolina. Max is $5,000. What I want you to do, Gladys, I want you to go to the YouTube or the Facebook replay. If you're on Facebook, I want you to watch this broadcast, but I need you to go about 20 minutes back, 30 minutes back. We had a woman on here who asked a similar question. Her budget was $10,000 max, and we went over a whole strategy for her. I want you to watch that, use that exact same strategy that we gave to her, okay? Because I don't want to just go over that. We went too into detail for me to just repeat it and go through all the things because some people heard it. Jeff, he said, where do I locate the link? The link is in my TikTok bio. Click that picture of me. Same thing on Instagram. Click the picture of me. That's going to take you. You'll see a website there. And in that website is a link to activate the 75% off. You'll see 75% off new book, 30 minutes only. Go there, get your book, come back to the broadcast. Okay? And then on YouTube, we have the comment and check the comments for your link. And then on Facebook, we have a comment floating for you guys, a link floating for you guys. So get in where you fit in. Okay, Anna, I went to the dealership and they wanted to sell me a car for $40,000. The price was $25,000. They were charging 11.99% interest. Should be $480 monthly, but paper said $580. What to do? A couple things. You're mixing transactions. You're buying a car from them and you're giving them your loan. So when you allow them to do that, now they're able to move money around and manipulate the money. And all they're doing is hoping you negotiate. That's really what they're hoping. Hey, come on, negotiate. Don't just walk out. Give us a chance. We have all this money we're playing with, and we're hoping that you just try to negotiate with us. What they're hoping you don't do is to shop the competition. You need to find out who has the same car, because there are tons of dealers with the exact same car, and you need to get a price from them. Now, once you have the price from them, we use something called the bank bidding war, where once we have our best price on the car, now we're letting tons of banks and credit unions run our credit. Oh, Deshone, ain't that gonna mess our credit up? No, it is not. If you Google rate shopping, Experian, which is a credit bureau, they have an entire blog post where they teach you how you can rate shop within a certain period of time. You can have multiple banks and credit unions run your credit with a hard pull, and at the end of that rate shopping window, it's going to affect your credit like one hard pull. So if one hard pull would have dropped your credit score 10 points, 20 hard pulls in that wait window period will drop your credit score the same 10 points. This is how you rate shop, because many of you are overpaying, not just for the cars you're buying, for the loans you're getting. If you sign 11.99%, because some people wouldn't have asked questions, they would have signed the deal and just said, oh, I guess this was it. This is it. Hey, man, y'all got me. No money down. I did all right. And they would have not realized that you actually could have gotten 8.99. From 11.99 to 8.99 is literally, depending on the loan, $40,000 loan, that could be $2,000. So we're not taking rate shopping as seriously as we're taking car shopping. So what I'm doing it from you, Anna, is I'm making sure I find every duplicate car out there, like the one that you're looking at, and I'm calling before I go. Because you also could have run into a dealership that listed one price online. Who's had this happen before? You see one price online, you get to the dealership, and they're like, okay, but we got a $2,000 prep fee. We got this this maintenance plan is mandatory. We added low jack in here, and then we have an internet fee that you have to pay that, or we can't do business. So you're like, wait, how the heck was the car 25? Who's had that happen? The car said 25. Now the bottom line is this, not just from the rate. So I made a video about that. It was about Atlantic Chevy. They had a vehicle on there that I called them, and they let me know they had no intention to sell the car to me at the price that was online. They were hoping, knowing, not even hoping, they know we're going to get so many people coming to this dealership from this price. We're going to sell some sucker who won't negotiate with us and who'll just be like, all right, man, I'm here already. Let me just get it over with. How much more is it? All right, what's the payment? You lost, bro. They just banged you over the head. They just extorted you, literally, and you signed a deal. So what we do is we find the similar cars. We always verify before we leave. You must verify fees before you go, because the gimmick is the bait and switch. What you're trying to decide, when we narrow this thing down, let me give you a real example here. You're narrowing your cars down. When I was narrowing my cars, I bought this white Infiniti truck 2 years ago. It was a 2020 at the time. It was 3 years old. I narrowed it down to my top 4. I realized that the prices online may not be the price that they want. The price online may be the gimmick price. So if I narrowed it down to my top 4, but I don't verify that there's only these 3 fees, pay attention. For those of you who have my book, who just got your book, you won't even have to worry about this. The price online should only come with 3 fees: tax, documentation fee, motor vehicles. That is it. Tax, motor vehicle, documentation fee. How do I know every single other fee is a scam? Because I've worked at several dealerships in 14 years, and not one of them had any fees other than those 3. So when we hear prep fee, internet fee, marketing fee, dealer this fee, motor vehicle fee is your license plate, your title, and your registration. Somebody said, what's motor vehicle fee? DMV fees. Yep, DMV, exactly. That's it. So anyone who's an honest dealer, when you call them and say, hey, I see the price online here, I just want to verify, what fees do you charge other than what I'm seeing here? Hey, tax, title, and documentation. Perfect. You're still in the running. Once they tell you, oh, well, we got to, if you read the fine print, you see we charge everyone $1,800, but what we do is we add a warranty in-house. Okay, no problem. That's okay. Let me make a note of that, because that doesn't eliminate them. I'm going to tell you why that doesn't eliminate them. You might be the lowest price and you have a $1,000 bogus fee. It's bogus. But we do something that no one else does. All the things we're talking about, no one else does. Some of you like, Deshone, what are you talking about? No one's doing this, what we even talking. But when I started looking at how people buy used cars, I said there's one important thing that no one is doing. Type a letter U if you bought a used car in the past. I'm going to tell you guys we're getting ready to drop a bombshell, right? And some of you who have the book, you already know this. We're getting ready to drop something real big on this. See, if you've ever bought a used car, okay, I see you, Boz. I see you, Ian. Anyone who's ever bought a used car, see, the reason why I have to have you volunteer your information, because you're the one who's like, Deshone, I know you're about to tell me that I lost some money and I'm willing to take it because we ain't going to do it no more. So I appreciate you. You guys are the action takers. Not that everyone who doesn't comment is an action taker, but we got a good amount of people who just, you're the action takers. So like, you're the ones who like, I'm willing to hear the bad news because I need to get better. So I said, okay, how do we guarantee we're getting a good price on a used car if we don't know what it was when it was brand new? Let me give you a real example of this. We're going back to our scenario. We narrowed this down. I narrowed my Infinity trucks down to my top 4 choices. All of them were in a similar price range. I said, okay, we narrowed it down. We talked about that earlier. We narrowed it down based on title history, service records, accident records, and then we're shopping on the low side of the market. So now I'm looking at the low side. All of these vehicles are around between 30 and 32,000. Like, okay. I found out how to get the MSRP of the vehicle, which is the brand new price. The brand new MSRP is that sticker that comes from the day it's built. Why is that sticker so important? 2 big reasons. One, it's going to tell us what's in the vehicle. It'd be nice to know this vehicle has the cold weather package, right? Wouldn't it be nice to know this vehicle has a panoramic sunroof? Wouldn't it be nice to know this vehicle has, lane keeping assist and, cross rear traffic alerts? Can't see those things always, right? So it's nice to know, okay, wow, that vehicle has some features I didn't even see. Cool. Oh, it has a 19-inch rim. Doesn't have the 18-inch standard rim. Wow, couldn't really see that from the pictures. Second big reason we need to know this is because I need to know how much discount you're giving me from the new price. This is so big. When you're shopping online on these marketplaces, they're using an algorithm to tell you if it's a good deal or not. They're taking all the prices listed and they're saying, okay, this is good deal, this is fair deal, this is great deal. They're not basing it off of what we call, in my book, you'll see this, the true value discount. So when I pulled the new prices of these vehicles, those Infinity trucks, I saw one of them was $46,000 brand new. One of them was $48,000 brand new. One of them was $52,000 brand new. And the one that I ended up getting was $54,000 brand new. Had all these features, special edition, everything. Couldn't see it from the pictures. Had tons of equipment. Now, notice how that changes everything. I'm looking at a car that's 30,000, 30,005, 31,000, 31,008. They all look like close. You see how we just separated them real quick? Like all of this. And see, what happens is when you're not getting the true value discount, which is based on the new price, how much discount? You're picking the wrong vehicles. You're picking a vehicle, oh, well, he's 1,000 less, so let's go with him. But what if his vehicle is 6,000 less equipment? Type $ if you got that. There's nothing more. 2 big things when we're buying used cars. Quality vehicle. We went over that in the stream. Reliability check, initial quality check, longevity check. Service record, narrow it down. Title history, service records, accident history. Okay, that's quality. That's how we make sure we don't get a good car at a good price, but a bad car. So quality checks, we must do those. They take minutes. It's easy to do, 8-9 minutes. Boom, all right, my quality checks are done. My narrowing it down check. We don't buy a car that doesn't have service records. Tons of service records. This is how we eliminate stuff. How do we eliminate? How do we start with 80 cars on the marketplace and narrow it down to a top 5? Easy, because we're looking. Okay, can't get a Carfax here. Okay, boom. Oh, no service records here. Oh, there's a big gap. No oil changes for 30,000 miles. All right, they're out of it. Then we're narrowing it down, but that's quality. When we get to price on used cars, we are verifying it. We have to assess the market, look at the low side, narrowing it down to our top 5 on the low side of the price range. And then once we look at the prices, we need to get the new price. Verify there's no bogus fees. But sometimes even with the, give you an example, the truck I bought, the one I bought, it was 54,000 brand new. This is how important this is to understand that even that dealer could have said, hey, well, we got $1,000 prep fee. No other dealer had it. But when I take the brand new price of it, when I divide, and I have a calculator in my book that does this for you. You literally type in the asking price, 31.8, divide that into the new price, which was 54.5. We can see we're paying 58% of what the new car price was. 3-year-old vehicle had 26,000 miles at the time. I got a 42% discount. That's how we're judging it. That's how we're judging it. See, because all the other Infiniti trucks, if I'd have took the one that was 30, let's say I took the one that was 46,000 brand new, divided that into 50, into their asking price, let's say it was 30. Okay, wait, hold on. 52,000, no, asking price divided into MSRP, which is 46, 65. That's only a 35% discount. That's only a 35% discount. See, this is the true value discount. This is something that's proprietary to Car From Home. We created this stuff. We didn't go and learn this. I didn't learn this from people. We brought this to the market. No one does these things. But now when we're looking at these cars that look seemingly similar asking price, once we know the new price, I could tell, okay, you're offering me a 35% discount from the new price. You're offering me 37%. The one I got offered me 42%. That's the biggest discount. Doesn't matter what the dealer's at. Oh, I don't want to negotiate. Or, hey, I got this fee. It's all about the true value discount, which is the discount from when it was new. And no man, I'm going to tell you, none of these marketplaces are going to do that. I'm going to tell you why they're not going to do it. They get paid to sell cars. Shout out to the people running the lights up, tapping the screen. Every time you hear something you like, just double tap the screen. Man, we killing it over here, man. Killing it. This is your money. This is your money. I can't care more about your money than you. If you care about your money, you're locked in. You're locked in. All I want is people writing me, sending me pictures, sending me emails. Deshone, man, look at this car. Look at what I paid for. I got 5 offers. This is what I chose. I had to drive an hour and a half to pick it up. I love those. Those emails make my day. Those emails make my day. All I want is more money in your family's household that you didn't have to spend. If other people are paying $700 a month to drive a car, I want you driving it for $500. If other people are getting a $2,000 discount, that's the average market value. I want you getting a $7,000 discount. That's it. I don't care about anything else. That's it. So everything we teach, I told you at the beginning of the stream, if you don't want to remember this, and you're like, Deshone, man, give me the blueprint, because we're gonna go over a lot. We didn't even really go into leasing versus buying today. Like we haven't even, like, leasing versus buying. Those of you who are not keeping your cars 8 years, you're losing thousands and thousands of dollars not leasing. You're losing in depreciation and resale value. And, we have to take an entire segment and go over you were taught that. That wasn't a decision you made. Or you chose a bad lease. You knew you drove 15,000 miles a year, but you got 10,000. I've had people say that. Yeah, I knew I needed like 18, but I got 12. I said, if I go over, I'll just buy the car. Terrible. Who taught you that? Who told you to buy a car that you went over miles on? When you lease, they give you what's called a residual value. That's what you could buy the car for at the end. That residual value is usually not a good price. In most cases, that's not a good price. That's a price that you could get a used car for, a better used car, lower miles, comparable car for less than that. But every now and then, the residual value is market value, and it's like, all right, I'll buy it. But it's based on 40, it's based on, you told us you were going to drive 30,000 miles in 3 years. This buyout price is market value for a car with 30,000 miles. You could buy this car for 19 grand. We expect you to have 30,000 miles. You can buy it for 19 grand. You go and you put 50,000 miles on it and you buy it for 19 grand. Do y'all understand that? Do you understand that? Market assessment. We just helped a young lady that works with me buy her lease out. She has a beautiful GV80, and she went and she made sure there was nothing else that she wanted to replace it with. I told her, if you keep this vehicle 8 years, you win another 8 years. Because if you don't, I can show you that if you just shop for another below market lease, you'd save a lot more money and you'd have new cars over the next. So I said, don't buy this lease out and then go and replace it in 3 years. You're lost because you're going to spend a ton of money. You've been paying for this car for years. And then she said, no. She went out. She looked at all the competitors. She said, Deshone, I'm telling you, I just love this car. I'm going to buy this car and it's going to be my car. I'm going to baby it. Perfect. But I said, listen, one more thing you must do. I need you to go on the marketplaces. I need you to put in the specs of what comparable cars to yours are actually listed for. We can't see what they're selling for because it's not like houses. We don't have comps. But I need you to see what they're listed for because you cannot overpay for your own lease. She did it. She came back. She said all the cars that are listed for my buyout, I think her buyout was like 31,000. Every other GV80 was like with comparable miles was like 35, 30. So she was on the low side of it. She was on the low side of the market. I said, perfect. That's all. You're good. That's what matters. Because if you buy your lease out and you could have gotten a used version of that car for 31 and you paid 35 because you wanted to buy your own lease, you just overpaid by $4,000 to buy your own car. And you're not going to feel it now. Well, you'll feel it higher payment. But then when you go to replace that car and say, wait, how y'all only giving me 12,000? Well, because it wasn't worth 35. You overpaid for it. So this is how I dissect transactions. This is why anyone in New Jersey, anyone who's dealt with me, who knew me from the time I was with General Motors, and really when I got to Mercedes, that's when I really became an advisor. Any of my clients would tell you I've been this way. I control the car transaction for my clients. It's a financial conversation. Now, many of my clients did work on Wall Street. They helped me to understand a lot of things. So I had a lot of Wall Street people, and I would ask them questions. Listen, why are you not paying cash for this? And you could, though. Well, I use the bank's money for free. Y'all got 0% financing. Y'all got 0.99. I'm like, okay, it's measuring risk here. And so there were questions that I asked. How'd you end up upside down in this car? You've had it for 5 years already. Well, I leased it, then I bought it. Oh, so you leased it for 3 years, then you took out a loan for another 6 years. You've had the car 5 years, you still have negative equity. Let me start telling people not to buy their leases because this is what happens to them. So all of this is that this is like, it's my unique experience that God brought me through that allowed me to shape how I teach and put this book together that has become a hit, that has helped hundreds and hundreds of people get to below market deals that I know of. We've delivered over 1,000, over 10,000 books now. So it's just, people, just use it. That's all I say. So get your copy for 75% off in my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio. You won't pay the normal $97 price as long as you get there before the 30-minute timer hits 0. Click the picture of me, Instagram and TikTok. You'll see a website there. And then on YouTube and on Facebook, you guys have a comment check the comment section for your link for 75% off. But just get it. All I want to do is see people win. Our miles in the value calculator. We always shop our leases with 12,000 miles per year. Always 12,000 miles per year, because that's how we base it. Everything we do when we're judging a lease deal, Armchair, we're judging it based on the 1% rule, which is older than, I don't know when it was invented, but it was certainly around when I got into the car business. So The 1% lease rule was for super savvy people. Lease people who just like, if you can get a lease payment, no money down, that's 1% of the MSRP or less, you stole a car. Now, some people might say, oh, Deshone, that sounds pretty crazy. Well, we do this all day long. Ansley, $554 a month, vehicles $58,000. You divide the monthly payment into the MSRP, and you can see. Zafrina, $579 a month, MSRP was $65,950. That's a 0.88% lease. No money down. You cannot buy your way to a 1% lease. You can't say I used to get people that would DM me, yeah, Deshone, you know, I'm at like 1.1 and all I put down was my taxes. No, you're not. You're not at 1.1. No money down. Your first month's payment only. My first month's lease payment is all we're factoring in when we're getting these offers. First month's lease payment divided into the MSRP, 12,000 miles per year. Shopping my best offers. That's how you judge a 1% lease deal. Teddy, $73,000 BMW, $856 a month. That's a 1.16% lease deal. So all of these are, let's see. Okay, that's a Honda. Okay. Now, how does you don't get to a 1% deal by just negotiating? You need a great lease program. So we have a formula for overpaying for a lease. Overpaying for a lease is over 1.5%. You're paying too much money for a vehicle that you're giving back. Too much money. When you add up all the payments, oh yeah, absolutely. We lease with no money down. That's all we do, Antonio. When you add up all the payments, you'll see I paid $24,000 over 3 years for a vehicle that MSRP was 40. I paid like 65% of the vehicle in 3 years. You overpaid for the lease. So that's why one of the reasons Dave Ramsey doesn't understand leases, because he probably looks at commercials and says, wow, you're paying all that. You're paying more than the natural depreciation of the vehicle. Yeah, at those numbers, you are. That's why we don't judge those deals. So yeah, we're doing everything we're shopping off of is based on the 1% rule. Which is a steal. Anything under 1%, you stole the vehicle. Like great value, but you need a great lease program to get there and big discounts. So we're going to using our process, using what you'll learn in the book, using what you learned in this stream, you can get multiple offers and get big discounts. But if they don't have a lease program that has a good residual, a good money factor, rebates, then you're going to fall somewhere in between 1.2, 1.5. The closer to 1.5 after you get all your offers, you must get 5 offers. You can't walk into an 80% dealer and they give you a 1.5% lease and you're like, well, I guess this is the best. No, once we get 5 offers, we can see, okay, clearly this best offer is 1.4. But we have other higher offers, 1.6, 1.7. So when you get your offers the right way, it's going to shock you how these dealers been ripping you off, because you're going to see these same dealers you've been buying from, their offers are going to be $100 more a month than these other offers, $200 more a month, $300 more per month. That's okay. 80%, let the 80% be who they are. Don't try to change them. Focus on the 20%. But now, if your best offers is 1.4, then that means the lease program is not that aggressive. It's decent. It's decent. Because anything under 1.5, good value. No money down. But when you're talking about 1.1, 0.88, these are vehicles that have big rebates, great residual values, lots of support from the manufacturer to move these vehicles, and you're getting a big discount from whoever the winning dealer was, the 20% dealer. That's the big difference. So that's how we judge leases. That's how we judge leases. But we shop with 12, and then let's say we drive 18,000 miles or 25,000 miles. We always shop our offers with 12, and then once we identify the winning dealer, that's who we adjust. We say, hey, okay, can you show me what it would be for 25,000 miles per year instead of the 12? 18,000 instead of the 12. That's what Jen did. Because some people are losing pennies. They're losing pennies. They're losing dollars to try to save pennies. Jen, she drove 18,000 miles per year. She shopped a Honda CRV hybrid, very hot vehicle. This vehicle's been very hot since the pandemic. $39,000 vehicle. She shopped her best offer. She got $512 a month, no money down, which was a 1.3% lease. $39,000. So she drives 18,000 miles. She adjusted it to 18,000. The price went from 512 to 563. She can drive as much as she wants, enjoy her lease, not have to worry about foolish penalties that would have been her fault. That's what I say. If you didn't get enough lease mileage, it was your fault. To save $40, you got a lease that's going to penalize you for the mileage you drove for no reason. That just does it. These are very bad decisions when people get leases, getting less miles than they actually need. So literally, she went from 512, 18,000 miles up to 563. She's driving, and it's just, this is how you want to structure your leases so that you enjoy your leases. And we have people who lease 25,000 miles a year. There's leases that go up to 30,000 miles per year. The key is, if you're not keeping your cars 8 years, you should be leasing. It's not even a question. These pennies, people are paying cents on the dollar to drive new cars. A $500 payment on a used car, that's a $25,000 car. Can't compare that to driving $40,000 cars for the same payments and all of that. Oh, we just can't. All right. So I think we went deep today. Shout out to everyone who checked in. If you just jumped on, you missed a good show. We got the replay on Facebook. We got the replay on YouTube. But everything we learned today is out of my new digital book. There's nothing that I freestyled except the part for Facebook Marketplace. That's the part that I did. That's my unique strategy. It's not in my book. When we're buying private cars, we put that to the side, that buying from an owner. But everything else is out of the new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealership. That's going to teach you how to get below market leases, below market purchases, below market used cars, every high mileage driving technique that you need to take into account. And you do it from the bank bidding war, making banks bid for your business, doing it the right way, all 3 rounds. All of that is done from home, 90 minutes, 2 hours. You're going to have people fighting for your business. It's hard not to save money when tons of people are fighting for your business versus you going into a dealer and begging, fighting. Come on, take another $1,000 off. Come on. So you can get your copy for 75% off. It's normally $97. And it's worth every penny of $97. It will say this will be the most, I'd say top 3 most valuable books you've ever bought. Guaranteed. I don't care what other books I got a lot of books in my library. I cannot tell you a lot of them that have made me money and saved me money. Couple. Tony Robbins' book on money. Yeah. All these other books, yeah, they've helped me in other ways, but I can't tell you that I'm richer or I have more money in my bank account because of them. This will be one that will save you more money than, it'll be in your top 3. So get your copy in my TikTok bio. If you're on Instagram, click the picture of me, click the link in my Instagram bio. If you're on Facebook, click the link in the comment section. If you're on YouTube, click the link in the comment section. Get your 75% off. Get there before the 30-minute timer runs out. And make sure you send me your success stories. Every time you get your cars, I want to hear about it. DM me. I love to see people winning when it comes to these strategies. And stops I say armchair, I already got it. Shout out to you. Use it, win, share it with family. I don't care. I'm not even off that. 60 million people buy cars. We got 10,000 books in the market. Like, if you could share it, I don't care. I'm not on don't share the book. Look, at the end of the day, they don't know me. One day we'll have software out and people will know Cars from Home, and then everyone will use it and it'll be software that everyone can use. But for now, we got to save our people. People are getting once you get your first car using Cars from Home, if anyone even shows you what they're paying, if you're willing to look at your neighbor's deal and say, oh man, you're going to be like me. You're going to be like me. You're going to not want to tell them because you don't want to make somebody feel bad, but you're going to be like, well, next time, just use this book, man. I'm going to send you this link. This guy, he created this whole thing. He used to be in the car business. Just use this next time. Just use this. It's blood. It's blood in the street out here, man. Car dealers making more money than they've ever made. And all they want you to do is just keep shopping the same way. Don't unlearn that. So that's why a huge part of what we do over here is you got to unlearn. You got to unlearn. If you're not willing to let go of what you've been programmed to do, you can't win. But if you're willing to unlearn that was the way they programmed you to shop because it was for their benefit. Once you unlearn that, oh, we could win all day. We'll be winning for the rest of our lives with cars. All right. So shout out to the new followers. Shout out to everybody. Could everyone hit the like button before you jump off? It does matter for the algorithm, so more people can find the replays. Just hit that like button. If you're on YouTube, share with a friend. We appreciate you. I'll see y'all in the next stream. You already know. $91,000 So start typing your questions. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is my pleasure. It is my pleasure to welcome everyone to Car Shopping Questions and Answers. I'm your host, Deshone, the Auto Advisor. All we focus on doing here is making sure you have the online strategies necessary to get better car deals than everyone is getting out here. You may hear people saying there's no deals. There's tons of deals. When you know how to shop and know how to make deals compete, like we're about to be telling you how to do it, you're going to get deals much easier than you ever got them before. And you'll be wondering wondering why you weren't shopping like this in the beginning. So we had our first question coming from TikTok. I want everybody to start typing your questions, and we'll get through as many as we can. But if this is your first time on the live with me, I want you to type the number 1. Welcome to the first time people. If you've never been on a live with us before, we appreciate it. We don't waste time here. We get right to the business. Okay. So somebody asked, is it okay to buy a car with 91,000 miles? It's a 2021 Nissan Altima. First thing you want to do is find out if this vehicle is a good car, even with the mileage or without. There are vehicles out there that are bad cars, whether they've been taken care of or not. You want to go to Google and you want to type in 2021 Nissan Altima reliability. Skim the articles. Just the first page. Just take you no more than 5 minutes. 5 minutes will protect you against all types of mistakes, all types of cars breaking down. Because if the car is a bad car, it's in the DNA. It's in the DNA. There's nothing you can do. The first owners could have took care of it, maintained it, did all changes when they were supposed to. That car has a bad DNA, and this is how we find out. Go to Google, type in 2021. Always put the year 2021 Nissan Altima longevity. After you do reliability, you do longevity. Reliability is going to tell you what they're saying the first 3 years. Longevity is going to tell you what they say about the history of these cars. Now, what you may find out is 80, 90,000 miles, those cars have transmission problems. That's going to be a big deal. Doesn't matter if you see in the reports on Google, first page, these cars typically have transmission problems around 80, 90,000 miles. You're looking at one with 91,000 miles. Isn't that important? Yes or yes? Yes or yes? That's why we do these checks. So you want to make sure that. Now, after that, we narrow these things down based on title history, service records. These are the most important things you need to be looking for to make sure you're getting a quality car. We're not talking about pricing yet. Pricing means nothing if you got a bad car. You get what I'm saying? Who cares about, I got a good price on the car if the car is in the shop every 3 months? Who cares, I got a great price on this car. I paid less than everybody. It was a below market price, but it's breaking down on me every 6 months. So these are the steps we take to make sure we're not getting a bad car. longevity check, initial quality check on Google, and then we're narrowing our search down. These cars better have great title histories. We don't want rebuilt titles, salvage titles, frame damage titles. Now we move into service records. That's why we only do Carfax. Carfax is the only vehicle history report right now that shows you service records. You do not want to buy a vehicle that has gaps in service. Doesn't matter what they tell you. Oh, I changed it myself. I changed the brakes and oil myself. Sorry, not good enough for me. That shouldn't be good enough for you either. Because if you can't prove that they serviced that car, not only are you taking the risk, one day you're going to turn around and sell it, unless you drive it to the wheels fall off. But even then, you might sell it for $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, whatever. You don't have service records. That hurts your resale value. Versus getting a car that was serviced, taken care of. Thank you, Joe. Now you get it, you service it, take care of it. Now 7, 8, 10 years later, you're selling it to the third or fourth owner, and they can see service records from the moment the vehicle was bought. So these are the things, and this is everything I'm teaching is inside my new digital book. Some of you have Googled it. It's called Cars from Home. 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's 5-star rated all over Goodreads. Thank you to everyone who's written a review about it or rated it. So you can see it. You can get your copy of the book for 75% off. That's my welcome offer. That's my book launch offer. 75% off for 30 minutes. You go to my TikTok bio, click the picture of me, go to my Instagram bio. You'll see a website. Get your 75% off, get your book, and then come back to the show. And make sure after you get your book, you screenshot the thank you page, because it has my support team's email. Because sometimes you'll type your email too fast because you're trying to catch trying to get the 75% off, and then we can't email you the book. Also on that thank you page is the link to open your book too. So YouTube, we have a link pinned for you in the comments, and then Facebook, we have a link for you guys to get your 75% off. So let's go. I see we got a lot more questions coming in. Go ahead, Dolan, pull the next one in. These are simple things to do. Party man, good to see you. Is it better to pay money down or trade a vehicle in on a new car? Great question. Party man asks, is it better to put money down or to trade a vehicle in for a new car? Now, there's a curse word he just used. Some of you, if you've been on the stream before, you know the curse word. What's the curse word? Let me see if anybody on here, he just used the word that we don't use. And I want you, big part of unlearning is learning to is unlearning what they've taught you to do. The car business has taught you to do. There's a word we don't use. Yes, thank you, Kenyatta. Trade. I love my people who locked in. I can tell my people who locked in. They either in the book or they on the stream. We don't use the word trade. Good to see you, Mama B. Here's why we don't trade. You don't get anything. All right, let me give you an example. Let's say I want to get rid of this iPhone. Trading it, would I get more money trading it, or would I get more money listing it online to sell it? Selling it or trading it? Which would I get more money for? I want to type in the comments. And some of you who are new to the stream, you got to stay by your keyboard because we're active here. You don't accidentally save $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 on cars. You got to be locked in. So dialogue. Thank you. Sell. Thank you, Mama B. Thank you, Party Man. Thank you, Stephen. See, so that is a basic premise that you now know. Now, what they told us in the past is if we wanted to sell our cars instead of trade them, we had to sell them privately. Facebook Marketplace, we had to let people come through, strange people, they're in our cars. Hey, hey, you mind if I drive this on the highway? All of this stuff. We don't want that. Now there are big companies that cut checks on the spot. CarMax. In my book, I teach you how to do something called the equity assessment. This is one of the most important things you have to learn about separating your transactions, which is I'm not going to buy a car from the same person who buys my car because we're bidding this out. So anyway, it's called the equity assessment. There's 6 companies that we get bids from. Takes us 20 minutes. They are CarMax, Driveway, Carvana. Open your notepad so you know this. If you're trying to keep notes, this is where you want to make sure you're jotting this stuff down. These are all thousands of dollars Somebody who was going to go trade their car into the dealership and the dealership was going to give them $13,000, you're going to do the equity assessment and you're going to get $16,000. But you got to lock in. CarMax, Driveway, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, Carvana, and AutoNation. So Driveway, Carvana, CarMax, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation, and Car Gurus. Thank you, Car Gurus. That's 6 offers. This is the only way you want to get offers on your car, because once you get those offers, these are bidders. These are people who they're fighting like tooth and nail to buy cars. That's how you separate your transaction, because when you trade, what you're doing is you're letting the dealer already has, let's say this is the car you're buying. This is the car you're buying. This is your trade-in. There's wiggle room in both of these. Car you're buying, it might have 5-6 grand of wiggle room. Car you're trying to sell or trade, maybe they offer you 12, but they know that they could really pay you 14, but they're going to start out at 12. So they got $2,000 over here, 14 over here. Not to mention that another buyer, their best offer might be, all right, we could only pay 14 for this car. Carvana might say we could pay 16 for it. So one dealer's best offer may not necessarily be CarMax's best offer or Carvana's best offer. This is why we separate these. We don't want people mixing our money. Then you have to fight and try to, am I getting the most for your trade? So here's what I tell you. And the down payment is a separate thing. Here's what everybody needs to know about down payments. I want you to understand this. The only purpose for a down payment is to lower your monthly payment. It's not to get you a deal. What's up, EJ? Good to see you. What's up, Keith Weidman? Good to see you. It's not to get you a deal. A down payment, see, we can't, unfortunately, most people, you guys know, I'm the bad news first person. Welcome to the first time people. You're going to understand. Deshone is the person who gives us the bad news first, because if he doesn't give us the bad news, we're going to think we're doing okay, and we're just going to mosey on and keep doing what we've been doing. I have to give you the bad news of how much money you've lost by not selling your cars to companies by trading them. I have to give you the bad news of how much money you've lost by not understanding leasing. I have to give you the bad news of how much money you've lost by not getting banks to bid for your loan instead of just giving the dealer the loan. I got to give you the bad news first, but I don't leave you there. I give you the new strategy. I give you the new way to do it. So when it comes to down payments, you most likely go in and say, man, if I could get my car payment to where I want it at, I think I got a deal. Now, if somebody offers you a car for $30,000, but it's only worth $28,000, but you paid $30,000 for it, but you didn't have to do any money down, was that a deal? I'm going to let you buy this car for $30,000. You could have got it somewhere else for $28,000, but I'm going to sell it to you for $30,000, but no money down. Is that a deal? No or no? So you need to know you have a deal before you have a down payment. Watch this. I'm going to shock you even more. Down payment has nothing, the deal has nothing to do with your down payment. And secondly, whether you could afford the vehicle or not has nothing to do with if you got a deal. Let's go deeper on that. Let's say we all of us, we're in a Bentley dealership, right? Everybody, we're all in a Bentley dealership. We're looking at a $200,000 brand new Bentley, never been driven before. It's right on the showroom floor. They say, hey, good news. Today we got to liquidate. We're going completely out of business. We're out of business. I'm going to give you this Bentley for half price, $100,000. But I need you to come up with 50 grand. Is that a deal? Is that a deal? Look, brand new Bentley, $200,000 on the sticker. They say, oh, we're going out of business. We got to get rid of this. I give it to you for 100 grand, but I need you to come up with 50 grand up front. Is that a deal? Thank you, Jewel. She's like, yes, absolutely. Now look, can we afford it? No. See, and somebody said no, because you're basing that off of your affordability. That's where I'm trying to get you to understand. You're affording the car has nothing to do with if it's a deal or not. The deal is, am I getting a below market price? Is this dealer selling me this used car lower than any other Honda Civic that I could have found? Is this dealer selling me this Ford Explorer lower than any other Ford Explorer? Is this a below market deal? Doesn't have anything to do with down payment. Down payment is just, all right, I'm going to get a loan and I want my payment to be a certain place. See, they and look, I'm a former car salesman. I'm only talking about the wolves. 80% of the people I work with, 80% of the dealers was wolves. 80% of car salesmen in this industry are wolves. That means they will put you in whatever deal makes them money, and you're second. The 20% though are the good people. You don't want to, what they do to you is make you think that if I get your payment to where you want it at, you should be happy. You got a deal. What I'm telling you is now, what's your action steps from now on? You're going to separate your who you buy your car from who you sell your old car to. And you're going to separate where you get your loan from who you buy your car from. These are three separate transactions. So what you just said, Party Man, to wrap up your question, you're asking, and you didn't realize this, you're asking about three transactions. You say, is it better to put money down or trade in a vehicle? Money down, that's between you and your bank. That's between you and who you're getting your loan from. You and the credit union who's giving you the loan. Hey, I found this car over here. They're selling me this car at a great price. I already made sure of it. I shop competitors. I use what Deshone teaches. I got 5 offers. I saw a lot of options. That car is a great price. Boom. Now, let me go get my loan. Car dealers, credit unions, banks. Hey, I want to buy this car over here. It's $29,000. Here's the sheet. Here's the buyer's order. All the details. What do you need? What's your rate? Now you can go to credit union. What's your rate? Bank of America. What's your rate? Hey, Wells Fargo. What's your rate? Navy Federal. What's your rate? Okay. Bank of America, you're the best. Now, what's my payment on that car? Well, right now your payment's going to be about $609 at that price, financing it with no money down. All right, I think I want my payment to be around $500. How much do I have to put down? Well, you're going to have to put down about $6,000. You're working this out with the bank, not with the dealership. If you're working out your payment with the dealership, they control your loan and the car they're selling you. Type $ if you get that. Anytime you are working out your monthly payment to purchase a new car or a used car, and the dealership is giving you your payment, you have let them they are controlling not just the car they're selling you, they're controlling your loan. We don't do that anymore. Find your car, get your loan, sell your car to CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, or one of these people. We've had hundreds of people do this. And this is how you maximize your equity. And this is how you make sure you're getting the best price. We don't mix these. Great question, David. He said, what about hard inquiries? In my book, I teach something called the bank bidding war. Now, what you've been taught, don't let a bunch of people run your credit. Do not let a bunch of car dealers run your credit. The bank bidding war, anyone who wants to verify this, you just go right to Google. Type in rate shopping, Experian. Experian's a credit bureau. They have an article, they literally have a blog post that they wrote telling you that within a certain period of time, they say 14 days to 45 days. So we do it in 2 days. When you get my book, you'll see the bank bidding war blueprint I give you, teaching you how to make banks and credit unions bid. Takes 2 days, sometimes 1 day, because we do it after we solidify our best deal on a car. Now we're getting bid. if you do it within the rate shopping window, you can have 10, 15 dealers run your credit, and it's going to affect your score like one hard inquiry. So if one hard inquiry would have dropped your score 10 points, 15 banks competing would drop your score 10 points. But what the banks want you to do is the banks want you to just hey, come get your pre-approval here. Who's realized that pre-approval is the buzzword over the last 2 years, 3 years? I'm gonna get pre-approved. Check this out. The banks are on to you. The banks are on to that. So what they wanted to do to keep you from shopping their competitors, that's the whole game. If you're not seeing it already, we're 15, 20 minutes into this stream. If you can't see, the game is from dealerships and from banks to keep you from shopping their competitors. Now, what do? Get your pre-approval here. Now, they used to offer pre-approvals with a soft pull, but now they're like, you know what? Let's start locking the people in. They do a hard pull pre-approval. Now what they give you is a check to go and shop, but you have a hard pull on your credit, which means you've already started the rate shopping window, and the pre-approval has what on it? An expiration date. What happens when that pre-approval expires? This is your credit union that you thought, this is my friend. These people are trying to lock you in and trying to keep you from competing. What happens when that pre-approval that you got that says good for 30 days expires? Got to go get another one, right? So what does that mean? Another hard pull, right? Exactly. These are the issues with the way banks want you to shop. So everything we're doing is bringing competition to our car deals. Everything we do, when we're getting bids for our car, competition. I want a bunch of people competing for the car you're selling, not trading. When we're getting bids for our loan, I want a bunch of banks competing for our rates, not just one, not just the dealership. Then when we're buying a car, we're getting multiple offers. And here's the best part, not just the money. We do this from home. We do this from home. In fact, there's no way you can do this unless you're at home. You can't do what I'm talking about, going into dealerships and banks and visiting them. How long would that take? That's why my new book is called Cars from Home. It's simple. Cars from Home. That's what you want to focus on. So, a couple things we just hit on. Party man, separating our transactions. Who you sell your old car to is different than who you're going to buy your car from, is different than who you're going to get your loan from. In each one of those three transactions, we are using online, the internet, to bid them out. Bidding out who we sell our car to, bidding out who we get our loan from, bidding out who we buy our car from. That's how we get deals like this. Some of you, if you're on YouTube, you can see this. Look, Adina got a Toyota Corolla. She was shopping for a Toyota Corolla. Fast forward, she ended up getting a 2024 Hyundai Elantra, $12K, $365 a month, no money down. You won't see a Hyundai Elantra commercial for a lease that says, hey, come lease a Hyundai Elantra, 12,000 miles per year, $365 a month, drive off. You won't see that. You'll see come lease a Hyundai Elantra, $249 a month with $3,600 down plus tax and fees. You got to put around $6,000 down and you could get a $350 payment. She did it with no money down, getting bids, staying at home, using what you're going to learn in my book, using my copy and paste strategy. Now, look, you could do it on your own. You want to call around, talk to dealerships, get prices. But here's what I'm telling you. You must shop competitors. You are not going to save the big money. You're not going to get deals like this. Look at Melissa. Equity assessment. Perfect example of someone who did a proper equity assessment. What's up, Noel? Good to see you, Noel. Nathan, good to see you, Lessa. I took possession of a 2025 Honda Pilot EXL before finalizing my lease. Look, my best offer was on my 2018 Sorento, gave me $12,000 in equity from Carvana. She didn't trade. Now here's what we do. Bonus, which she ended up winning. After she found the dealer who sold her the Honda at the lowest price, she asked them, "Can you match or beat the offer I got?" That we do. There's nothing wrong with asking the dealer, "Hey, the one you're gonna buy the car from, they won the bid. Hey, I'm gonna sell my old car to CarMax. Hey, they're giving me 12. If you could match it, I'll do it with you." Sometimes they're like, "Hey, you know what? Let's find a way to get that car." And then most times it's not going to work that way. They're going to be like, "Man, I can't pay you that. I can't pay you what Carvana's paying. I can't pay you what they're paying." That's fine. But she won. The dealer said, "All right, I'll match it." Gave her the $12,000 that Carvana was offering, and it was just like, this is what you do. This is how you do it. Separating your transactions, getting bids. All right, let's go. Keep typing your questions in. We'll get to as many as we can. But one thing y'all got to know about us, we don't do quick answers here. This is car buying. So I'll try to get through as many as we can. But, we got to go deep on some of these. Go ahead, Dolan. Pull the next one in. What's up, Yessie? Good to see you. Flo, what's up, Mitchell? Kenyatta, good to see you. Do previous book buyers get an update? Everybody who gets a book gets an update every time I update the book. And I've updated the book probably 5 times since I wrote it. Because we get new websites that come in, we get websites that go out of business. I update the scripts. In my book, I have copy and paste scripts. We don't talk to dealers. Who doesn't like talking to dealers? Who does not like talking to car salesmen? Let me say, I might have a bunch of people on here who love it. Deshone, I love talking to car salesmen. It's my thing. I get a thrill out of it. I'm not. We get people. Listen, when I was in the dealership, it was people every now and then. They like popping in the dealership every 3 weeks. They're back. Hey, let's talk again. It's like, what? You like this? This is the people like that. All right. For those of you, Clarissa, I see you. Mrs. Dixon, I see you. Kanisha, I see you. If you don't like talking to car salesmen, type me. Let us know. Look, somebody said I hate it. Look, Valerie, hate it. These are my entire system in Cars from Home, my book, in what I'm teaching you here, does not require talking to car salesmen about numbers ever. Ever. You are either going to be emailing them or you are going to be talking to a manager. The only time we are talking to car salesmen is when we are there for our test drive. And even in my book, I teach you how to properly schedule a test drive so that you don't get the worst car salesman. Who's ever had a salesman that they talk to on the phone? "Hey, I'm coming to drive a Toyota Camry, the XLE. You got one?" "Yeah, yeah." You got the wrong dude. No professional says boss. I'm just telling you. I know this. I know this industry. If you get a dude like, "Yeah, boss, I got you." Wrong dude. In my book, I find out, schedule it with him. And some of you know, they're laughing because you know I'm right. Very hard to get great service from a guy who calls you boss. Females are like, "Yeah, man, I'm guy calling me boss. I'm a woman." It doesn't matter. You don't call anyone boss. My name is this. So anyway, when you schedule your test drive with someone who's reliable and dependable, you get there, car's ready. What do you mean we don't talk numbers there? Never. I'm shopping. In my book, you learn something called shopping, not buying. We don't mix those. You've been taught. See, you go out, "Hey, I'm shopping," deciding what you want. I'm looking at options. I'm test driving. I'm exploring. This is what shopping is. Decide, "Oh, I want to look at the colors." Okay, all right, I'm going to drive the Chevy. Then I'm going to go over shoot the Honda. All right, I'm going to see which one I like better since I'm about to make a decision. Some of you more. Hey, I'm going to take the time and look at the product, considering that all of these companies are trying to sell me a car. Let me at least go explore it. That's shopping. Buying is different. Buying is I've decided what I want. Now let me get offers. Now let me get my best price. The process for us for buying is 90 minutes. Online, used cars, everything we teach you in Cars from Home, everything you're going to learn in any of my videos is about a 90-minute process. We are not doing the things that take time. We're not in dealership. You never saw me make a video and say, well, after you've been at the dealership for your 6 hours, this is what you do. You get up and walk away and tell them, hey, you guys are wasting my time. Get up and walk, and you will never hear me say that because I don't do that. All of my cars, I've had 6 leases, probably 4 cars I bought in my adult life. The last 4 of them have been from my house because that's where your leverage is. Your control, your ability to make dealers bid is all from your home. That's where the control is. The minute you step into a dealer and you start talking numbers, you could be talking to an 80% dealer. Doesn't matter how much you negotiate, they're not going below a certain price. That's why everything we teach is the Cars from Home mindset. And the way you're going to win, you got to unlearn the old way. That's why I represent this brand. First thing you got to do if you're going to win with me is you got to unlearn. You got to unlearn. Everything they taught you about car buying, leave that at the door. Trust us, and you'll get the results. Go ahead, Dolan. But yeah, everyone who gets the book gets free updates. Anything new that happens, I just update it. As soon as you open a new file, you'll see, oh, this is a new book. Oh, this website's going. Oh, this website's added. Okay, first-time viewer, welcome. Good to see you. Is leasing a car a bad idea? Pros and cons. Oh, great question. Who's interested in finally, once and for all, knowing when you should lease and when you should buy? Type me. This is a great question. He said, first-time viewer, is leasing a car a bad idea? Pros or cons? Who's heard? Okay, I see a lot of you. Who's heard leasing? First of all, everybody, because this is about to get very deep. Can y'all keep tapping the screen on TikTok? Keep running the likes up. This is a big deal. Most of you have been taught, because I know I was in the dealership 14 years. I know you were taught never lease cars. In fact, you got big influencers that got big voices that say never lease a car. Everybody on Instagram, everybody on Facebook who shares, could you hit that paper plane or hit that arrow and share this with your friend? Because your friend is about to actually go and make a bad decision. You don't even know. God, I didn't even know you was buying a car. Well, listen, did you follow this guy, Deshone? He talks all of this stuff. Well, you didn't share him with me. I didn't know about him. Now look, this is what I'm paying. So share this with your best friend. Hit the share button because we're gonna go deep on this. So this is step 1. Step 1 in the car buying process is deciding whether you're gonna lease or buy. I see y'all running the likes up. Shout out to everybody tapping the screen. Appreciate you. Step 1, before you think about trading your car, selling your car, before you think about what car you're going to buy, before you go test drive, step 1 is, am I going to lease this car or buy this car? Why is this so important? All right, let me use something better than this. Oh, we can use this. Now, what you're looking at is what I want you to picture every time you think about buying a car. This is the unseen expense. It's called depreciation. If you buy a car today for $40,000, you don't drive it 1 mile, just park it right outside your house. Park it right outside your house for 1 year. Come back a year later. Is the car worth $40,000? Pay attention. I'm talking to the people that's locked in. Listen, you distracted. You trying to get car advice that's going to save you thousands of dollars, and then on your other tongue you watching, Dog the Bounty Hunter on the other screen. You're not going to win. I'm talking to the people that's locked in. So you bought the car. You did not drive it 1 mile. Come back a year later. Everybody said no. You lost money. You lost money. It lost money. This is the unseen expense. The first step to understanding leasing is to understand this, depreciation. Let's go deeper. You buy the car for 40, drive it 12,000 miles. Is it worth less than if you drove it no miles? Worth less, right? Bought it for 40, drove it 20,000 miles. Worth even less, right? This is the depreciation curve. One of the biggest myths you'll hear people say about leasing is, I don't want to lease because I don't want to pay for the mileage. What you just learned in the last 20 seconds is, whether you lease or buy, you pay for the mileage, correct? From now on, this is step one. This is why you cannot get, and I want to be clear here, you cannot get a great deal if you buy a car, but you should have leased. You cannot get a great deal. And I'm going to explain that. Before we wrap, I'm going to wrap with that and showing you why. I don't care how much they sold you the car for, how much discount you got. If you should have leased, but you purchased, you cannot get a good deal. Your deal structure is wrong. You built the house on the wrong foundation. So now, who has a car in their driveway that they've had more than 8 years? I want you to type the number of years you've had the car into the chat. Only if you had it more than 8 years, not 5, not 4, more than 8 years. All right, Miss Dixon, just got my book. You use it. Congratulations. Use it. Way to go. Now, anyone who's had a car more than 8 years, type the number of years you've had the vehicle in your driveway. Okay, 19. I see you, Antonio. Serafina, I see you. 11. Valerie, I see you. 11. Okay, Miss Bells, I see you. 14. Nicole, I see you. 12. Okay, so all of you who had this, your depreciation curve, watch this. It looks like this. It looks like this. See, when you first get your car, you're losing value by the thousands. Every year you're losing thousands. But the longer you keep the car, depreciation looks like this. So some of you right now, you could go sell your car for $5,000, but a year later, a year from now, you can sell the car for $5,000 or $4,800. My dad's about to sell his truck. It's been worth $5,000 for the last 3 years. Well, during COVID, it was worth more. He could have got more for it, but for the last 2 years, that car has been worth about $5,000. Depreciation, he's beat it. How do you beat depreciation? 2 ways. Long-term ownership. In my book, I teach you the first step you're doing is asking yourself how many years you're keeping the car. I'm teaching you the 8-year rule. The 8-year rule says this: if you're not buying a car to keep it for at least 8 years, you should be shopping for a below market lease, not a regular lease, not these leases you see on the commercials. Those are not deals. Deals are not advertised to thousands of people. Deals are when the dealer doesn't want to make the deal, but he's signing it just because I need to sell this car. It's reluctant. Don't send more people in to pay these prices, but here, I'll do this for you. Don't tell anyone else. That's a deal. When you see a commercial, hey, everyone, 10,000 of you, come get this car for this price. That's not a deal. Not advertising this. So let's get back to this now. So now, here's where you are losing. In the 2-year, 3-year, 4-year, those of you who buy your cars, trade them in 3 years, you're losing. You're replacing a depreciating asset and when it's losing the most value. You buy it for 40, 2 years later it's worth 28. All right, let me get out of this thing. You lost. You buy it for 40, 4 years later it's worth 16, 18. Oh, let me get out of this. You're supposed to the whole purpose in buying is to get to what I call the reward stage. That's what you saw Jerry said. 8 years he's had the car, paid it off in 6. Now he can keep it. Beat the depreciation. The longer he keeps the car, the less he paid for it over time. Look, Michael, 16 years. You get to the point where this car is now literally not even depreciating. I lose probably $200, $300 a year in depreciation. Some of you like, Deshone, there's no way I'm keeping the car that long. You are the ones who should be shopping for below market leases. Let's make this point. I see you, Delaney, and said I had an Escalade 21 years. Look at your cost per year. Look at your cost per year. I bought a $50,000 Escalade, $60,000 Escalade at the time, however much it was, but I kept it 21 years. How much did that cost me per year? That's the purpose of buying, because you pay more to buy. So now let me show you what below market leases look like to wrap this point up, to show you that there is no comparison. If you are getting regular leases, this is not going to make sense to you. That's why you're going to use my strategies. You're going to get your book in my TikTok bio. Go there. If you went there, you only got 30 minutes to save the 75% off. You won't pay the $97 price. As soon as you visit that website, you see that timer start ticking. You got 30 minutes to get your 75% off and get your book for $24 instead of $97. Now, it's still worth it at $97, but $24 is better. So click the picture of me in my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, click that website, and then click the link that says activate the 75% off and get your book. You'll have everything we've been talking about and stuff we didn't have time to talk about in here step by step, and how to get these below market deals. And on YouTube, we have a comment for you, and we have a link for you. And if you're on YouTube, check the comments. If you're on Facebook, check the comment for your link. So now let me show you what below market leases look like. So you take somebody like, let's go luxury, some Teddy. Teddy is, he got a $73,000 BMW. He got it for his highest offer was $1,123 a month. His best offer was $856 a month. Well, I told you, multiple offers. If you're not making dealers bid, you're dealing with the wrong dealers. You're not, when you go and say, oh, well, they told me to lease this car, it costs $600 a month with $3,000 down. That's one dealer told you that. That's why we get 5 to 7 prices from home. So that's what's called a 1.1% lease. Some of you may know the 1% rule with leasing. If you can get a 1%, if your payment is 1% of the MSRP, no money down, just giving them your first payment. No, what about the taxes, Deshone? No money down. First payment only. You're going to see all of these people I'm about to show you. They're not going to say, hey, and I gave them the taxes too, and it was 1%. No. All right, so look, somebody like Tope. Tope had a 1.2% lease, $690 a month on a $54,000 vehicle. Almost $55,000 BMW, $690 a month, no money down. Look, look how much she saved off the vehicle. Sitting at home. People in dealerships fighting. Come on, take off another $30. She's sitting at home. She said, look, I got $7,500 off plus another $1,000 from the dealer that bid. And every dealer is not even going to give you the $7,500 rebate. They won't even tell you. But let's go deeper. Look at Kimberly. $86,000 Maserati, $968 a month. She got $20,700 off on this offer here. $20,700 off at home. Look, you're not going to see the Maserati advertise, hey, come drive this new Maserati, $968 a month, $86,000 vehicle, no money down. You'll see, hey, come drive a Maserati, $799 a month with $5,000 down plus taxes and fees. End up probably being about 10 grand once you add it all up. Yeah, you'll see that commercial. You go sign up for that, they'll love you. Hey, I want the deal from the commercial. Oh, come right in, miss. Oh, Miss Jones, a letter. How are you? Okay, can I call you Miss Jones? Yeah, how fast can I get it ready for you? They love you. Go ask for the deal from the commercial. They love you. Look at Charles. Some of you have this vehicle. Hyundai Palisade, $48,000 vehicle, almost $49,000, $597 a month. No money down. Look, I reached out to 35 Hyundai dealers, and you're like, how do you do that? You might have just jumped on the stream. We do this all online. Takes about 25 minutes to reach out to that many dealers using the stuff in my book, copy and paste scripts. So he had 35 Hyundai dealers, got 10 quotes back. Offers range from 1.2 to 1.6. He said, I never thought I'd be able to afford this car that is almost $50,000, because up until he learned what you just learned, I'm not keeping my cars 8 years. He was buying them. But now that you have the understanding of this and the unseen expense, and you now have a depreciation, whether I buy or lease, I pay for my usage. Whether I buy or lease, if I drive 20,000 miles, it costs me. Which one's going to cost me less? And when you get below market leases, it costs you less. Or when you do like what we spent time shouting out Michael and Antonio and Serafina and Valerie and all of them. So you're either going to go the long run, the distance, get your deal, keep it till the wheels fall off. That's how you're going to beat depreciation, or you're going to get below market leases. But now, $48,000 vehicle, $597 a month, a $50,000 vehicle. This would normally, and let me ask you guys this. Some of you know, every $5,000 on a car loan is about how much per month? So we can show everyone who doesn't know this how much if he had bought this car, and this is the reason why he said, I never thought I'd even be able to drive this car. Every $5,000 per month on a loan, on a vehicle, is about how much per month? Let's see if anybody's tapped in. Every $5,000. Thank you. Yep, you got it, Zully. $100, $100. Great job, Clarissa. Shout out to the people that's tapped in. I love the people. I love when y'all show me, man. Look, Deshone, I'm tapped in, man. I don't care about anybody else, man. I'm watching my money. I gotta pay attention to this stuff. Yep. Thank you, Aletta. $100. The Bush, $100. So now this is how, when you look at a $10,000 car, you should think $200 a month. $20,000 car, $400 a month. $50,000 car, okay, that's $1,000 a month on a 5-year loan. That's what should come into your head. That doesn't mean, hey, I might be able to get 5,000 off of it. I might be able to get 8,000 off of it with my best deal. I might be able to get 10,000 off. That has nothing to do with it. I'm talking about just when you look at the car and you say, okay, around about how much is that going to cost me? 50,000. That's about $1,000 a month. 5-year loan. 6-year loan, yeah, all right, it'll be a little less, but we don't go longer than 6. And when you go in, and some of you've done this, you go in and you look at that $50,000 car and you say, man, get me the 600. Can you give me the 600 a month? Yo, okay. And next thing you know, you're in a 9-year loan and you don't know how you ended up in a 9-year loans because you went in saying, hey, get me the 600 a month, not knowing that car is $1,000 a month. So this is why we have. So going back to Charles' Palisade deal, that Palisade with no money down would have cost him $1,000 a month, 5-year loan. If he stretched it out to a 6-year loan, maybe it cost him $920. He's paying $597. What's better coming out of your bank account every month? $597 or $900? Imagine pulling up to someone, you're Charles, right? You pull up in your brand new Hyundai Palisade, they pull up right next to you in the same Palisade. Both of you did 2 no money down deals, and you look at each other and say, oh man, we got the same truck. Yeah, man, I just got mine. Oh man, how much you paying? Yeah, man, I know this expensive. You know it. You know this expensive, man. Yeah, I'm right about. I'm close to $1,000 on it, but I no money down though. No money down. How much you paying? Oh no, I'm paying $597 for this. Oh, you had to put a lot of money down. No, I didn't put no money down. Wait, how you get that? Oh, I leased this. I drive it for 3 years. Give them it back. Go get something else. Oh, see, but see. You know, after 6 years, I'm gonna own this. And man, I gotta laugh because this is I gotta laugh to not cry about. This is what people do. This is what I'm trying to get people to understand about leasing. All these people that told y'all don't lease, they cost y'all money. They got y'all driving these older cars or these cars that are super expensive because you just thought, man, I had to buy the whole car. You done put 10 grand down, 15 grand down. And you're like, man, all right. And here's the thing. It wouldn't be bad if you were keeping the car 8 years. Because after a while, you get to this point, you kept the car, the depreciation cools off. You're like, okay, I kept the car long enough. Let me go and sell it and let me get something else. 8 years is the minimum. But the problem is when people pay those, that dude is like, yo, I'm paying $1,000 a month to drive this Palisade. Okay, but I'm gonna own it after 6 years. But then about year 4, what happens? What happens when he has it about 4 years? About 4. Look, the warranty done expired. Now something done went off on the thing. This is not people who are what we call keepers. These aren't people like Valerie and like the people we shouted out. These are I'm talking to you that are stuck in the middle. You know you don't keep cars 8 years, but you go in and you buy them. You take out 6-year loans like you plan on paying them off, or like you plan on doesn't matter. You are losing in depreciation because you keep the car, you buy the car here, as soon, right before the depreciation starts to cool off, you go and flip it and go do it again with a whole nother car. Pay a whole, let me ride that wave again. Okay, perfect. Oh, that was no fun. High payment. Let's go get another one. I would get people coming to the Mercedes dealer. Hey, man, Deshone, that's the new one? Oh, okay, I got 2 payments left. Then I'm going to come see you for that. I'm like, man, what are you doing? Okay, let me talk to you. Let me show you. You ever heard about leasing? Let me show you what this is going to look like if you understand what I'm about to break down for you. And they like, oh, wait. So I'm going from a $900 payment. You telling me good deal on this lease, I could be at $500? And what about all the money from my old car? What I do? Oh, man, I'm going to give you that back. You might have 10 grand equity here. You go put that in the bank. Yeah, I used to have to just put that down. What I would do is just whatever my old car was worth, I just put it down on the next car and then roll it and I just kept it moving like that. Nope, not no more. You're not going to keep your money tied up in these depreciating assets. Type dollar signs if you're getting this. You're not going to keep your money tied up in these depreciating assets. Pay attention. Banks don't do it. Banks don't do it. The last thing a bank wants is their money tied up in a depreciating asset that's losing value. So if you're going to keep it long term, tie your money up in it, but then you pay it, I drive this thing till the wheels fall off. Now I'm going to get my money's worth out of this car. But if that's not your goal, you should be shopping for below market leases, paying cents on the dollar, like Charles, like Zafrina, like all of these people who are driving brand new cars that would normally be $600, $700, $800 more, $200, $300 more than what they're paying. Look at Rosalie. Just got a 2024 Infiniti Lux, $60,000 vehicle. Look what she's paying. $592 a month. $592 a month. It's a $60,000 car. $60,000 car, $1,200 a month. Somebody walks in and says, hey, how much that costs? No money down. Man, that's about $1,200. She's paying $597 because her deal is structured right. Leasing versus buying is and look, you add the mileage, Michael. Let me give you an example of somebody, because that was a great question. That's always the next question. Oh, what about the mileage? The worst thing to do is to add, and look, all of this is inside my new digital book. There's a reason it's 5-star rated. Google it. Cars from Home. 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. Look at all the 5-star ratings. Read the reviews. There's a reason that book's 5 stars, because it's step-by-step on getting below market leases, buying, used cars, everything we've been talking about. If you're like, Deshone, I don't want to remember all of this, get the blueprint. You get there, go to my TikTok bio, get your 75% off. Go to my Instagram bio, click the link, get your 75% off the book. You got the blueprint forever to use every single car deal. You're on Facebook, click the link below, get your book for 75% off. YouTube, get the book for 75% off. Here's an example of how we choose our mileage wisely. This is in step 3. It's deal structure. Look, Jen she leases a $40,000 Honda CR-V hybrid. It would be $800 a month to buy, no money down. She gets her best offer is $512. She gets all the bids from home, $512 a month. Now she says, okay, that's for 12,000 miles per year. I want to go up to 18. After we get our best offer, that's when we go to the dealer, or we email the dealer who sent us the best offer. Hey, congrats, you beat everybody. Can you show me what it is for 18,000 miles per year? Can you show me what it is for 20,000 miles per year? She bumped her payment up. They said, okay, Jen, if you go from 12 to 18, you go from $512 a month to $563 a month. She said, done deal. $40 more, $45 more. I get to drive as much as I need to drive for $45 more per month, instead of me taking 12 like some people do. Oh, Deshone, I'm 7,000 miles over on my lease mileage. What should I do? Why did you take a 12,000 mile a year lease? You know you don't drive 12. To save $40? Now what's going to happen is you go over by 7,000 miles and you're taxed 25 cents per mile. It's going to cost you way more than you would have spent just getting it up front. Part of having a great lease experience is choosing your mileage wisely. We take that very seriously. We don't mess around and we don't do that. And because some people blame the lease, man, I'm not leasing again, man. I leased and I just got all these penalties for the miles. You chose the mileage. You picked the mileage. Don't blame the lease. The lease is an inanimate object. You told them, give me 10,000 a year, knowing you drive 15. Why? To save $40? Now you got a bad lease experience. You could have had a brand new car, great experience, always under warranty. If you would have just did what Jen did, adjust my mileage, give me what I need. So this is how you do it. There's no way you can get a great deal if you purchase, but you should have leased. It's no way. The numbers are so far apart. It's no way. We just broke down. Somebody pulls up in a $1,000 payment compared to somebody with a below market lease. It's a $550 payment. We are so far apart. It's going to take you years to catch up to me because I'm saving $400 a month less than you. That means next month I'm up $800 on you. 3 months I'm up $1,200 on you. If my payment for the same car is $400 a month less than you because you decided to buy and I'm leasing and we're driving the same car, $400 times 12 times 4, $4,800 a year is in my bank account and it's in your car. And we have the same car. Deal structure. So we already hit on, if you just jumped on, we are very big on helping you get to where you need to be. You're either going to be a long-term person. We shouted out all the long-term people. Thank you to everyone who participated. Y'all helped us prove the point. And you can mix it up. One car you might buy, hey, my wife loves keeping cars. We're going to buy her car, keep it for 9, 10, 12 years. But hey, my husband, he doesn't really keep cars more than 6 years. We're going to lease his. You can mix it up. But you need to know when to pull these things out your tool belt. It's beautiful. And we don't buy leases at the end. Muzz, we don't buy leases at the end because all you're doing when you're buying a lease is buying a used car. That's it. So when you're buying your lease, you're buying a used car. You're making a decision. I'm going to buy a used car. The only difference is it's my car. That's it. There's no difference. You can overspend for your lease. There's tons of people who buy their own leases. They never even check the market to see that the price they're buying that lease for is not worth it. The $19,000 they're buying that lease for, the $24,000, whatever, they didn't even do a market analysis to see, wait, this is not even a good price to buy this car at. But what you're doing when you're buying your lease is saying, I'm going to buy a used car. Instead of leasing and driving new cars, I'm going to buy a used car. And if you're going to keep it another 8 years, God bless you. Do it. If you're not keeping it another 8 years, you are throwing money out the window because you're going to lose on depreciation. And let me end with this is big. The only people I know that will come into the Mercedes dealer and I look at them and they'd be like, okay, I want to switch this car out. And I look at it and I can see it's not too old. Say, all right, what year is that? Okay, so it's about 5 years old. Yeah, okay. How long have you had it? So I had it since it was new. Now, if somebody said to you, everybody, I want you to answer this. If you saw somebody come in and they had a car, was about 5 years old, and they said they've had it since it was brand new, would you think that car is almost paid off or paid off? Somebody comes in, you see they got a 5-year-old car. You ask them how long they had it. They say since it was new. Okay, you've had it 5 years. Shouldn't that car either be paid off or almost paid off? Thank you, Antonio. Yep, thank you. Now check this out. These are the only people this happens to. So I could already tell when a person will walk into the dealership, they don't understand leasing because you're already in here replacing a car that you've only had for 5 years. I'm going to show you how, had you leased that car, you'd have thousands more in your bank account right now. And that's what I'm going to transition. That's what Melissa did. When you saw her say, hey, I leased and then I sold my Kia Sportage, she learned the 8-year rule. Step 1 in my book. I don't keep cars 8 years. I'm going to lease. She sold her old car, did the equity assessment, made $12,000, put it in her bank account, leased her new car, no money out of pocket. This is the same thing I'm about to tell this person. But I need to find out how much they owe on that car. Again, we all agreed the car should almost be paid off or paid off. So once we get to the nitty gritty and we're talking numbers, I'm like, okay, so you know how much you owe on this? First bad sign. Nah, I haven't checked. Okay, that's a problem. But it also could be a good problem. It could be, hey, I haven't checked. I've just been paying it, man. I might owe like another $5,000. Okay, no problem. We'll call the bank. We'll see. I have the used car manager look at the car. I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell this person about leasing because they obviously, I asked them, they're not going to keep the next car more than 8 years. They're going to do the same thing. Perfect. We ought to plan, make the customer happy. They're going to love it. They're going to love the low payment. They're going to get the car they want, hundreds less than they thought. This is going to be great. Big check coming back to them. Beautiful. Used car manager says, all right, that car is probably worth about 18. Perfect. I go back to the customer. He doesn't know what he are. Calls the bank. Hey, yeah, I'm calling for Mr. Johnson here. I need the payoff on his 2019 whatever. Okay, yes, the payoff is $19,100. 19,000? What do you mean? I said, look, Mr. Johnson, they're saying you owe 19,000 still on this. Oh yeah, I said, I told you I hadn't checked. Hold on. Didn't you tell me you bought this? You bought this new? You had it since it was new? You've had it 5 years? Yeah. Oh, but you know what? I had leased it for 3 years and then I bought it at the end of the lease. That's the culprit. Because you leased the car for 3 years, and then to get a payment similar, you usually have to take a 5 or 6 year loan. Most people, when they buy their lease out, they take a 6 year loan because they like the payment. You leased it for 3, bought it for 6. What's 6 plus 3, y'all? This is why, Muzz, I want you to remember this story for the rest of your life. When somebody says to you, or when you think about buying your lease out, remember this story. 9 years. Nobody who's smart, nobody on here. We might have some young adults on here. We might have some seniors on here. Nobody is signing up for a 9-year loan on a car. Not knowing it. No one. Every time you lease and then buy it out, that's what most people are doing. 9 years of payments on the same car. So you literally could have the car for 5 years. We call the bank to see how much you owe. You still have 4 years of payments left on the same exact car. That's why it's one of the worst things to do. And you're not even happy about it because it's like, oh man, I've had this car for a while, man. That's why buying your lease out, hey man, I was just trying to ride the market out. I wasn't ready to shop, so I just bought the lease out. Bad idea. Bad idea. It's just a bad idea. You could stroke a check for it? Possibly. But I would always shop for a new lease because, again, like I started the story with, when you buy your lease, you're going from a lease, driving new cars. If you're getting below market deals, like you're going to learn in my book, you're driving it for cents on the dollar, and then you're switching to a used car purchase. These are two totally different mindsets. Yep, you lease new cars, Marty. Two totally different mindsets. Buying a used car, you should be somebody like the people we shouted out earlier, the keepers. 8 years, 10 years, 12 years. You should be perfectly fine with maintaining a car. If something breaks on it, I'm gonna put money into it. I want to keep this thing. That's buying a used car. Buying a lease is like, hey, I don't want to do none of that. That's buying that. I mean, leasing, I don't want to do any of that. I want to drive new cars, always under warranty. The key is learning how to get below market leases. You can't walk into a dealership and just get a lease. We talked about that earlier. So that is the deal. Leasing is for people who do not keep their cars more than 8 years. Buying is for people who keep their cars more than 8 years. It's no in between. The people in between, you lose everything. You buy your cars, take out 6-year loans, trade them in. Losing. Never forget this again. Buy your cars, 5 years, trade them in. You're on a roller coaster to hell. Depreciation, killing you. You're never happy with what your car is worth. Man, I put all this money in, that's all y'all giving me? Depreciation. You buy your leases out. You're stuck in the middle. So get to one side or the other. And you must do this first, because as I said, if you buy, but you should have leased, you lost. That's why in step 1 of my book, there's 7 steps. Step 7 is delivery. So some of you who have my book, you should not be at step 7, and I'm about to congratulate you, and you have not done the steps to get to delivery. That book is meant to walk you from home to your delivery of your below market deal. Step 1 is the most important question. How many years are you keeping the next car? What we're saying, AKA, how are we going to beat depreciation? If you say, Deshone, 10 years. All right, we're going to beat depreciation with long-term ownership. Deshone, 3 years. All right, we're going to beat depreciation with a short-term, with a below market lease. The depreciation question is the first question because we're buying a depreciating asset. It's nothing more important than that. Deal on the right foundation. Some of you who are about to start leasing was like, Deshone, man, I was taught for years, never lease. 20, 30 years, never lease. You're going to make some of your best deals and be your most happy because you should have been leasing 15 years ago, but you listened to bad advice that they never broke down numbers. They never talked about depreciation. They never showed you anything. And they just said, never lease. It's like renting. And you believed it. So it's partially your fault. You believed it. You didn't verify. But there was no one to break down the numbers. I love math, and I've done thousands of transactions. I love breaking down the numbers to show you. All of you who are on here can see. You saw all of those below market lease deals. Buying those cars are nowhere close. Even if you bought a pre-owned version, nowhere close to what these people are paying. So that is the key. All right. All of this is in my blueprint. All of this is in my new book. Some of you like, you're like, I don't want to remember all this. It's no way you're going to remember. I'm going to remember all of this, Deshone. Everything is in my new book, step by step. It's a digital book. You can get your copy for 75% off. It's part of our welcome offer. In my TikTok bio, click that picture of me. You'll see a website, and you click the button that says get your book for 75% off. If you're on Instagram, click the picture of me, click the website, and then get your book for 75% off. If you're on YouTube, look in the comments. I have a 75% off link for you there. If you're on Facebook, look in the comments. I have a 75% off link for you. That link is only good for 30 minutes. So if you went there 45 minutes ago when we started, an hour ago when we started the stream, you missed it. So $97. And if I'm you, even if I missed it, I'm getting the book, because we only went over probably 40%, 30% of what we're talking about in there. Squeaky Clean, good to see you. Guy purchased the book. Listen, use it. Congratulations. Send me your stories. Send me your emails. I want you guys DMing me. I want you DMing me, Deshone. Check this deal out. I want you seeing, look, if those of you on Instagram and YouTube, you can see this. I want you sending me not just your cars, your numbers. Look, everybody who taps in, look, American Senior Benefits. I wanted to share my experience. Purchased my car 2 days after using the system. Now, those of you who want to shop with me, I do shop with people all around the country. It's an advanced thing. That's in my bio too. So I don't care how you get it. Some of you are like, Deshone, give me the blueprint. I can follow it. Everything's in there step by step. Some of you like, hey, Deshone, can we do this together? Perfect. You'll see both buttons in my bio. Doesn't matter how you want it. But he says, look, the first day I sent out the template, I received about 7 offers. Day 2, I emailed for my numbers, took the best offer, put them into the calculator. I have a calculator I invented that you get access to in the book. All of you get access to all. I probably have 5 calculators in the book that I've invented. You'll never find them anywhere else. Can't Google them. These are calculators that I literally wrote the code for that we use. One of them is the counter offer calculator. And he said, look, I sent the email counter. The dealer MSRP was $36,365 on the 2025 Kia Sportage X line. Oh man, I gotta go back and get his numbers. I didn't open it up on his Facebook post. I was supposed to hit see more, and I didn't hit it up. All right, so I gotta go. But you could tell he was excited to tell a story, and it's like, dang, I gotta go back and pull him in. But this is what I want. I want you guys emailing me the numbers. Proud of your numbers. Deshone, look at this. Last thing people want to talk to me about is their numbers. They'll post all day long. Oh, your girl upgraded. I had to treat myself. You know, your boy Fresh had to step out with the 2025. You never hear him talk about numbers. You'll never hear us. You'll never say, oh, y'all won't believe the price I got for this. You'll never hear that because they're ashamed of it. They're embarrassed by it. If they ran into me and I said, hey, yo, you got your contract on you? You got your purchase order? Oh, yeah, let me look at this. They'd be like, man, they'd be over there sweating like, all right, Deshone, don't tell. I know I did bad. I've had people say that to me. You know, man, I know I did bad. I'm like, listen, man, don't beat yourself up. I just want to see you do better. I want you knowing, why would you go work hard and then go get this beautiful vehicle and not have the confidence to know you paid less, the lowest price you could have? You shouldn't be ashamed. This is a treat to yourself. But because you didn't know how to shop, you're ashamed. Or we're not doing that no more. You're gonna know how to shop. You're gonna be emailing me, Dad, Deshone, I got 6 offers. Deshone, I looked at all these pre-owned cars. The dealer that had the best one, I saw all the service records. I saw the true value discount. I got the price of it when I was new. It was no bogus. It was an hour and a half away. I had to drive an hour and a half away to get it. But look at what I got. And then I let the banks bid. And then, you know, my credit union, you're gonna be like, numbers. You're not gonna be thinking about cars. You're gonna be just as excited about the deal you got as the car you got. That's where you're going. So shout out to everybody. Valerie, the link is in my TikTok bio. You got to click the picture of me, and then you'll see a web link right there. Click that link, and then you'll see a button that says 75% off new book, 30 minutes. Okay, same thing with Instagram. The link is in my bio. Instagram, TikTok, the link's in my bio. On Facebook and YouTube, the link is in the comments. So grab your copy, get there before the 30 minutes runs out so you can get it for $24 instead of $97. All right. God bless y'all. I will see y'all soon. All of that is answered in the book, Squeaky Clean. Don't worry about that. We protect credit. And you might have missed the segment where we were talking about the bank bidding war. All of this we do. You don't give. See, part of what we didn't even get to. Part of what you need to learn is you don't give dealers quotes. You don't give dealers credit to get quotes. We couldn't even go into that. Credit is not in my templates. We never give dealers our credit to get quotes. That's what the 80% will tell you though. Hey, Jim, we can't give you credit. Yeah, just fill out this credit app so I can give you a quote. They lock you in. We don't do that. All of that is explained in the book. All right. God bless you. I will see y'all in the next stream. Everyone who got your book, send me your success stories. Go out and be empowered. Go out and win in this world, and make sure you send me your results. All right. God bless you. Welcome to Car Shopping Questions and Answers Live. I am your host, Deshone, the Auto Advisor. We are live on 4 platforms now, and we're going to do some fast car shopping Q&A over the next 60 minutes. I want to make sure you know what you need to know to go out here and pay less for leases, purchases, new cars, used cars than everyone else is paying. There's only 3 prices you can pay with every car. Every car has 3 prices. Remember this: market value, above market value, below market value. Every car has 3 prices. Above market value is reserved for people who can't negotiate at all. Market value is reserved for the negotiators. And then below market value is reserved for the people who put dealers against each other and create competition so that they can see the entire market. Below market deals do not come from negotiators. You cannot get a below market deal negotiating. So, and you can't know you got a below market deal negotiating. You must get dealers against each other. And that's what we do here. That's what Cars from Home is about. So start typing your questions. Who's car shopping now, or you will be over the next 12 months? Type me in the comments. Let me know if you are car shopping right now, or you will be over the next 6 months. Type me in the comments. I want you guys typing your questions, and we'll bring the first question into the show in about 10 seconds. All right. Shout out to the people who are, if you're car shopping now, let me know. All right, Dolan, I see we got our first couple questions. Let's get the show on the road. You guys can keep typing, and then we'll, as we get more questions, we'll keep it going. What do you think of drive time? Do you think it's a good option? Well, drive time, any website that does not put dealers against each other is not a good website. Most people are going to try to sell you on variety, and variety makes you think you're getting a better price. Give you an example. Carvana says we have 50,000 cars for you to choose from. That's variety. It's no different than if you walk into the Lay's potato chip factory and you're looking at 100 different flavors you never saw before. They're all Lay's, and you're like, wow, y'all got sour cream and onion, but y'all got baked potato, all of this stuff. It's variety. But if they said to you every single bag is $7.99, you don't have any competition. So you can't compare anything. You can't even compare them to what they would sell it for in the store, because you're in the factory where all of the variety is. That's how most of these websites operate. It's strictly variety, but variety doesn't drive down prices. Competition does. So you want every car you're buying, leasing, you want to look at 100. You want to know within 100 miles of me who has a car like this and who's willing to sell it to me for. What are they willing to sell it to me for? Because this is not the Apple store. My biggest thing I want to get across to you guys concerning this pricing is cars are not like the Apple store. You go into the Apple store in California, the iPhone 15 or 18 or whatever they come out with is going to be the same price as the Apple store in Florida, same price in New Jersey. It's not like that in car dealerships. Every dealer is selling their vehicles for a different price. Every dealer's best price is different. So if you're going to find the below market best prices, you need to be on websites and you need to be using tools that allow you to get multiple offers from multiple different dealers. And there's no websites that do that, so to speak, but our system in Cars from Home is what we use to do it. We're going to get multiple offers, look at all the used cars within 100 miles, screen them down, see which one is the below market lease, the below market deal. And we're going to do the same thing for purchases. We're going to reach out to 25 dealers online. Using my email scripts, we get 5 quotes. So then we pick the best one. Now, you can feel free to do that manually. If you want to actually manually try to call dealers and get multiple quotes, you can. But I recommend you don't talk to dealers. And that's why I created a system where you just email them. But even if you called around, if you're looking for a Honda Pilot and you got 5 different managers to give you 5 different offers, you're going to see they're going to be totally different. This one's going to be $29,000. This one's $31,000. This one's $38,000. This one's $32,000. Like, they're going to be totally different because every dealer has a different price, and 80% of dealers are overpriced. So you're going to be shocked at how overpriced some of these dealers are once you start to get multiple offers. But yeah, when it comes to websites, Christian, if they're not putting dealers against each other for us, if they're not allowing us to see where dealers rank against each other, it's trash. Even on used car marketplaces. Used car marketplaces need to be telling you what discount you're getting from the original price, which they're never going to do. They're used cars. If you've bought a used car in your life, I want you to type the letter U in the comments. If you've ever bought a used car, I'm going to tell you something right now that is that you're going to be like, wow, you're right. That's common sense. But no, none of us have ever done it. No one's ever done it. That's why I added it to my system. When you look at used cars on the marketplace, on the website, cars.com, Auto Trader, you're looking at them using algorithms to tell you if this is a good deal or a bad deal. They're looking at what all the cars are listed at, and they're saying this one's listed higher, this one's listed lower, this is a good deal, this is a fair price. That's trash, because what they should be telling you is what is the discount you're getting from the original price of that car. The original price of that car. That's all that matters. If that car was originally 50,000 and now they're asking 25,000, that's a 50% discount from the new price. That's all. Listen, during the pandemic, we had people going out and you might have done it and literally buying used cars for the same price as new cars and not really asking questions. And they didn't even really bother to see that the same price they're paying for the 3-year-old used car is the same price it was new. There's no discount. And that's what I call the true value discount. So they're never going to see that. What you would see if they did this is how it would look. This vehicle has a 1% discount from the new car price. This car has a 6% discount from the new car price. And you're going to be like, why the heck would I buy that? It's really no discount. You charge me the same price as what it was new. That's all that matters. But they're never going to do that because then they have a bunch of people paying them to sell cars for them through their website, and the cars wouldn't be selling because people be like, yo, I'm not buying that. There's no value there. So that's what we need to know when we're getting a used car. That's the last step when we're narrowing down our used cars. We pull the original MSRP, we get the original price, and then we compare that. I have a calculator in my book that does it. You put the original MSRP in, you put the asking price in, and then it tells you this vehicle has a 42% true value discount, a 38% true value discount. And that's what you compare when you're shopping prices for used cars. Okay, everything that I'm talking about, if you're like, Deshone, I want the whole blueprint, I'm not going to remember this, you can go and get my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You'll know our system for screening down used cars. You'll know how to get the original MSRP. You'll have the true value calculator, and you can get your copy for 75% off as part of our welcome offer in my TikTok bio for 30 minutes. My Instagram bio, 30 minutes only, or YouTube comments or the Facebook comments. And you won't pay $97. You'll pay $24 if you get there before the 30 minutes is up. So go grab your copy. Come on back to the show. Catherine Marie, I have a 2022 Chevy Blazer, 40,000 miles. I want to trade in for a 2024 Kia Sportage. My credit is 530. Is it smart right now? I've never been late on payments. Smart is relative. Why are you doing it? If you just got a vehicle, you're right now driving a vehicle that it's depreciating like this. Whenever we get into so she used a curse word too. A lot of you know, if some of you may know if you've been on a stream with me before, what's the word she used that we don't use here? Some of you may know. I'm not, Catherine, you're new to the stream, so you don't know, but you're about to find out that there's a word. Let me see if anybody gets it. I'll tell you in 3 seconds. Okay. Trade. All right, trade. Why don't we use the word trade? Because you don't get anything, you don't get the value, the maximum value for anything trading it. So if I wanted to get rid of this phone, it's an iPhone 14, would I make the most money trading it, or would I make the most money selling it online on the open market? Would I get the most money trade or sell? Type into the comments. Y'all know, listen, I need you to lock in. Let's go. You know, the people who win with us are the people who are locked in. The whole world wants to distract you and have you focused on all of these things. None of this stuff is going to keep money in your bank account and make sure you're keeping thousands of dollars. You're paying thousands of dollars less. So lock in, focus, exactly. Trade. No, not WW. No, not trading. Yes, body, sell. Yes, open market. Exactly, Sheba. You're going to make the most money selling something on the open market, not trading it. So when in the past we used to have to, sell our cars on Facebook. We don't have to do that now. There's big companies that make us cash offers for our cars that literally write us a check the same day. CarMax, Driveway, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, Carvana, AutoNation, and Car Gurus. That's 6 offers. CarMax, Carvana, Driveway, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation, Car Gurus. 6 cash offers that we get in 20 minutes. This is in step 2 of my shopping process. This is called the equity assessment. Before you can go into your next car, you want to see what is the maximum value I can get for my current car or my current lease. Can I sell my current lease and make $3,000, $5,000? And if you didn't know you could sell a lease, type a question mark, because if you didn't know you could sell a lease, how much has that cost you already? Just not knowing that you can sell leases, just dropping them off to the dealership, and if there's $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 of equity, or like in the pandemic, some of us had 10,000 equity, 7,000. You're just giving it back to them, and you're wondering why they're saying, "Oh, good news, we could get you in this new car with no money down." That's because you have equity that they're most likely using for your car, because you don't know how to assess your own equity. So we do this ourselves. So when it comes to to me, you look like a lease person. You have a 2 to 3 year old vehicle right now that you're already replacing, and you should not be swapping cars. You're going to have a ton of negative equity, because unless you're putting big down payments down, every time you trade these cars in, Catherine, you're just moving all of the baggage from the old car over to the new car. And so you should be leasing, but you're buying. Buying is for people who are going to buy their cars and pay them off and then keep them until the depreciation doesn't look like this anymore, because this is normal depreciation. This is why you buy a car for $40,000 and in 5 years it's worth $18,000 or $16,000. That's called depreciation. So, but you get to a point when you own a car where your depreciation looks like this. Your car, this is around 8 years. Now, your car today might be worth $10,000. Next year, it's worth $9,800, $9,200. It's not losing that much value anymore. But if you're not buying cars to get to this space, you're throwing money out the window, because you're losing thousands in depreciation. And then what you do is you're riding that sliding board of depreciation down to the bottom. And as soon as it's about to cool off, you say, "Oh, let me go get another car and let me ride it down to the bottom again." So you're literally replacing your vehicles in the point in time where you're losing the most money on the vehicle through depreciation. That's why you should not be buying. So now your credit is not in a place where you can lease. So what should you be doing? Building up credit to go into a lease. It's very simple. If I needed to lease, because leasing is going, and you'll see, we'll go over this in the stream. Leasing saves you a lot more money. For $530 a month, we got some people driving $40,000 and $50,000, $60,000, $40,000 and $50,000 vehicles, brand new with no money down. For those same payments, you're driving a vehicle that's less, but it's bigger than the payments. It's more about you not tying up your money in cars. That's what a lease is about, because you don't want to tie up money in a depreciating asset unless you're going to keep it a long time. Long enough to let the depreciation cool off. You're tying up all of that money. It costs a lot to buy. A $25,000 car is $500 a month on a 5-year loan. Meanwhile, like I said, $500 a month on a lease, depending on the car, can get you a $40,000 car or a $50,000 car. You don't believe what I'm saying? Look at Zafrina. Zafrina's paying $579 a month. She's driving a $65,000 car, $65,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Look, this is $512 a month, a $40,000 Honda CRV. This was Jen's best bid. Now, these are not regular leases. These are what are called below market leases. So these don't, I know what you're thinking, Deshone. I saw the commercials. They all say you got to put money down when you lease. All of that is a commercial. Those are not deals. So the point is, what you got to understand, Catherine, is your first thing is to see is to determine why you're buying. And if I'm you, I'm staying in that car and I'm getting my credit to the point where I can lease. You got a nice car. You have a solid car. You're going to switch that into a Kia. Your payment's going to go up, because if you go from that to a finance, another purchase, your payment's going to go up. You're going to have negative equity, and you're going to be no closer to leasing. So if you've never missed a payment, then you should be focused on getting your credit to about a 660, so that you can go. If you get to a 640 with a good payment history, you should be able to flip out of that Chevy Blazer into a brand new lease, and you can actually save money. Because if your payment has to be high. For a 2022 Chevy Blazer, you financed it, your payment has to be high. That's a $40,000 vehicle. So I'm guessing your payment is around like $700-800 a month. Depends on if you put money down, but you could be driving so much better car than that, or you could have a lower payment. So it's but you got to get your deal on the right foundation. Leasing is the foundation. Go ahead, Dolan. Leasing versus buying is the foundation. Most people are overpaying strict. It's not just they don't know how to make people bid. It's literally their deal is on the wrong foundation. They should be leasing, but they're purchasing. That's the problem. Negative equity all day long, high payments. They just always have them. What about with a low credit score? What is that? You're gonna have to. I need more info than that. I need more info than that. Like, relate that to your question. Are you trying to buy? Are you trying to lease? Like, what is? Give us a more detailed question, Santiago. Go ahead, Dolan. I'm car shopping right now for a new vehicle. I need a car ASAP. I'm looking to finance. Okay, so first thing to determine is, do you have a current car? If do you have a current car, then you've already decided you're going to purchase. You're not leasing. So therefore, now we move to step two. My process is 7 steps. Step 2 is equity assessment. Do you have a vehicle you need to sell? Okay. Now we're going to budget for. Are we going to budget for a new car or a pre-owned car? Can you afford both? That's the thing. Now, in my book, I have something called the perfect budget calculator. This is where we use the standard interest rates. We put our, preferred down payment in. It could be 0. Some people, you're like, Sean, I could put 3,000 down, but if I don't have to, I don't want to. That's what the perfect budget calculator does. You put in what you could put down comfortably. You put in what can you spend monthly comfortably. You put in what equity you have from your old car. You put that in, and then what it does is it tells you how much you could afford for a car. Could be 22,000, but you get multiple goals, because what you got to understand is, if I spend 400 a month for a 5-year loan, that's less money than if I spent 400 a month on a 6-year loan. So what we do, oftentimes, you can actually budget for a lower price vehicle simply by shopping for a vehicle with a 5-year loan instead of a 6. So yes, my budget might be 400 a month, but for how long? So the perfect budget calculator gives you multiple goals, because you got to decide, what can you afford? Can you get everything you want in a new car at your budget? You said I'm shopping for a new vehicle. Can you get everything you need in a new vehicle for your budget? If not, then you got to go pre-owned. And then now what you're doing is you're going to the market, and if let's say you're shopping for a new vehicle, because you said I'm shopping for a new vehicle, what we would do is we're separating the finance from the purchase of the car. See, because I could already tell by your statement, you're gonna go in mixing them. And what I need you to get is, you're giving dealers, anytime you buy a car from a dealer and you give them a loan, you get your loan from them, you've actually given them 2 transactions. You've given them 2 transactions. Buying a car from a dealership is one transaction. Getting a loan from a dealership is another different transaction. And you're never going to get the best deal doing that, because you're not bidding out the loan. What we do is we bid out everything. Every part of our car buying transaction, we're bidding it out. So we're bidding out, let's say you're searching for a new Honda Civic. Okay, there's 25 Honda dealers within 100 miles of me. I'm talking to all of them online. You use my way, you're doing it by email, copy and paste. You do it your way, you can call around, ask for the managers. But I want to find the Honda dealership that's going to sell me a Honda Civic that I want for the lowest price. Who's going to beat everybody? Now, once I find that person or that dealer, now it's time for me to bid out my loan. My loan gets bid out by me reserving my car with the dealership. Hey, Honda, you already got. See, when you do this, what you're going to get is you're going to get a buyer's order, and you're going to say to the dealer, okay, I'm going to go shop for my own financing, but if you could beat the rate, you can have the business. So sometimes where you're going wrong. Another way you're going wrong is you're not giving the dealer a chance to beat the rate you got. And that's losing you opportunity. And the more people bidding for your loan, the better. And I'm going to tell you how you could do it without affecting your credit negatively. So this is all what I call the bank bidding war. This is in my books, the bank bidding war blueprint, because like I said, we bid everything out. That's how we get these deals that we get, that you see people get. So the point is, we lock up our car, we go home, we have our banks bid, we have online credit unions bid, online banks bid. Whoever gives us the best rate, now we call the dealership and we say, hey, if you can beat the rate, you can have the business. See, if you, it doesn't have, you never want the dealer telling you what your payment is going to be. Your payment is between you and the people giving you the loan. But because you mix those transactions, you don't realize you're giving the dealer maybe $5,000, $7,000 of negotiating room in the car you want to buy. And then you're giving them another $3,000 of negotiating room in the loan. So they have all of this money to move around. And then, God forbid, you trade in your car. Now they got another $3,000 of wiggle room in that. You're giving them all three transactions. And that's why you're wondering, oh, I hope I could get a good deal. You can't. You have to separate these transactions and do them at home so that you can bid them out. So that's what you would do. If that's a process I call the 25 to 5. And as you can see, you don't need a lot of time to work our system. Ansley, I want to say, where's Ansley's deal? I think he got his car, he got his below market deal in like, look, he said right here, he said, I started the process Saturday. I accepted a deal Monday. Got the car delivered Thursday. So for those of you, if you're like, man, Deshone, I need a car in 3 days. Ansley started the process using our process Saturday, accepted a deal on Monday. This does not take, this is a 90-minute to 3-hour process to get below market deals. This isn't days. I would never spend more than, I haven't spent more than 90 minutes to get any deal. My Infinity truck, all my leases I had, I never spent more than 90 minutes to get any of these deals. But you can see here, he got a 2024 Infinity QX60 Lux. MSRP was $58,000. Huge discount, multiple offers. He got a 1% lease. That's a $554 a month payment. It's a $58,000 vehicle. It's people paying $554 on $35,000 vehicles, leasing them. You got to understand, bidding is how we do it. Bidding is how we do it. So it doesn't matter if you need a car ASAP, you want the blueprint. Get your copy of Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Now you can do this manually too. Again, I don't care how you get multiple offers. I prefer you to use our way because our way is proven. We have dozens and dozens of people that we can show you today, and we have hundreds of people you can see all over my pages and the comments who've been using this stuff since 2021. But I don't care how you get multiple offers, just get them. Because the money savings is in multiple offers. If you're looking at a blue used car and you're like, man, this dealer right by my house got this nice blue Chevrolet Cobalt, I don't care. Just understand there are hundreds of that same vehicle all around. And that instead of, see, what they want you thinking is this is the only one like this, so that way you can come deal with them, and then whatever way you can negotiate, there you go. Once you understand that as an ex-car salesman, I can tell you, even the most rare G-Wagon, there's more than one of them. That's the most rare cars. There's more than one of them. Very few cars are one of one. And these mainstream cars, Hondas, Fords, Toyotas, when you see them on dealers, Mercedes, there's hundreds of this same car. My job, your job, is to get offers from multiple dealers so that you find a dealer who's going to sell you the car the lowest. Lock that into your mind. All right. And this is what the Cars from Home system is about. So grab your copy of Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You'll have the whole blueprint. In my TikTok bio, you get yours for 75% off. That's my welcome offer to you. So normally the book's $97. It'll be in your inbox in 2-3 minutes. But if you get there before the 30-minute timer goes to 0, you can get your copy for 75% off, which is $25. In my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments, get there before 0. All right? Go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next question up. Let's go. Can you negotiate a buyout from a lease? Not usually. I haven't seen it because your buyout price is set on the contract. So when you lease your vehicle, the buyout price is established and the bank has already determined what they're going to resell the vehicle for. So they estimate based on what you tell them you're going to use their resale value. So if you tell them you're going to use 10,000 miles per year for 3 years, they're expecting the vehicle to come back with 30,000 miles on it, and they're anticipating what their market value will be to resell the vehicle based on 30,000 miles. That's why when you bring the vehicle back with 40,000 miles, you must pay for that because they've already anticipated our sale is based on 30,000 miles and you brought it back with 40. No matter what dealers have told you, they have never made your mileage penalties disappear. You cannot make mileage penalties disappear. What they can do is they can cut them a check, which is rolling those mileage penalties into your next deal. That's what happens. But how many of you are getting calls from dealers saying, come on and we'll get you out of your lease early? Come on and we'll get you out of your lease early. Come on and we'll take care of the remaining payments. How many? Type me if you're getting those calls or if you're getting those letters. Hey, we'll get you out 6 months early. They're not doing anything but rolling your payments into the next car and hoping that you'll be okay with the new payment. But if you waited until you didn't have this baggage, you can literally make a deal without the baggage. So yes, you might be able to achieve $500 a month with the baggage, and maybe you could afford $500 a month, so it's okay with you. But if you were patient, you could literally make your deal when you didn't have the baggage, and the same car you got for $500, you could get for $400 a month. So they're playing on the fact that you're going to want a new car and you're not going to look at the numbers and be able to understand that they're rolling those numbers into the new car. And if you were patient, you wouldn't have to deal with that. That's the big thing. It's just about being patient. It's the biggest play on your emotions. There's no other industry like the car business that plays on your emotions, and they use it to your disadvantage. It's all that's why I tell you we don't talk numbers in dealerships. We don't negotiate in dealerships because you're in their house, you're looking at a product you like, and you have no leverage to even talk to their competitors sitting in their house getting numbers. That's why we don't do it. We only get numbers from home. All of our deals are made from home. So no, I haven't seen you be able to negotiate a buyout on a lease. The price is set. And that's another reason why you don't want to buy a lease. Let me end this question with this. The buying of leases is a horrible idea. In most cases, it's one of the worst things you can do because most people are not checking to see that the vehicle they're buying out is actually a good price. So if you're not checking to see that the vehicle you're buying out is a good price, you don't even know that you just overpaid for your lease. Especially those of you who, if you go over your miles, let's just say your buyout is 20,000 based on 30,000 miles. You're supposed to have 30,000 miles. You can buy that car for $20,000 based on 30,000 miles at the end of the lease. Now you drive 50,000 miles. You go 20,000 miles over because you got the wrong miles. You didn't pay to get 18,000 miles like you should have. You took a lower payment and you now have a penalty. It's not the lease's fault. So now you come back and you say, well, I'm gonna just buy the vehicle. The problem is the vehicle that the 20,000 buyout price was based on 30,000 miles. So now you're about to buy a vehicle and pay the same price that was for a $30,000 30,000 mile vehicle. You're going to pay the same price for a 50,000 mile vehicle. So you buried yourself and you've bought something well above what it was worth. You've paid well above what it was worth because the fact you put 50,000 miles on it didn't adjust the buyout. It didn't say, well, you put 50,000 on it. Instead of 20, you could buy it for 16 because it's really not worth 20 at all. No, you're paying the buyout price no matter what. So 99 times out of 100, the penalty is way less. It's just bad leasing. It's bad lease structure. When you see people that hate leases, it's their fault in a lot of cases. They don't know that though. Man, I didn't get the mileage. They penalized me. Man, I got a bill because I had dents and the windshield was cracked. But if you own the car and you went to sell that car and it was a cracked windshield, wouldn't you need to pay for that? Wouldn't that come off the value? So you have to realize that leasing, you get charged for what you use. If you abuse the car, you're going to be charged for that. If your tires are bald, you're going to be charged for that. If you went to sell the car that you own to someone and it had bald tires, they would be like, all right, you got to lower the price. The tires are bald. So you pay either way. But when you get below market leases, it's not even a question. It's not even a question. That's what's leading you guys wrong. So anyway, I know that wasn't a question about leases, but it was a question about lease buyout. But I use it as another opportunity to tell you how much not understanding leasing is hurting you. It's hurting your bank account big time. Go ahead, Dolan. Big time, not small. $5,000-$6,000 every car you get. You should be leasing, but you're buying. $5,000-$6,000 minimum every car you get. You're overpaying. It's not even close. Go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next one up. I see we're getting a lot of questions, and let me try to speed through a lot more of these. What's going on, Oak QT? Good to see you, Senru. Always on point. Let's hook up. All right, Senator. I don't know who you are, but hey, listen. TikTok knows I'm shopping for a car today. Listen, lock in, Tifa. Lock in. Could everybody hit the like button? Everyone who hits the like button, if you support good content and you're like, listen, I need to help spread this because my friend might be going out buying a car today and they might be getting, listen, they need this. So appreciate everybody who hits the like button. Appreciate everyone on TikTok, double tapping the screen, running those likes up. We can't spread this message without you. All right, Chef Champion. What do I do if I bought a Jeep Grand Cherokee and the value decreases faster than the payoff? That's normal. That's normal. See, and now watch this. It's based on your loan. So now, again, you want to remember this. This is a basic lesson on depreciation. If we learned this in school, everyone would be just fine because you come out of school understanding depreciation, leasing, and buying, and you understand how you're going to beat this and not get caught up in this. So when you buy your vehicle, the Jeep is here. The depreciation is here. The next day, if you buy a vehicle for $40,000, you go back the next day, it's not worth $40,000. You've already owned it. It already has 10 miles on it. Even if you didn't drive it, literally because it's been owned, it's depreciated. So it went from 40 to 36 the day you bought it, 34 the day you bought it. And so depending on how much you overpaid, it could drop even more. If you should have gotten a $7,000 or $8,000 or $10,000 discount off the car, but you didn't get a discount because you don't know how to make dealers bid and you're trying to negotiate and you don't know about rebates and all that, you overpaid. It doesn't change the fact your car is going to depreciate based on the market value of that car. So when the market sees that some people are getting $7,000 to $10,000 off of the new ones, your 1-year-old one becomes worth even less. So depreciation is what you're trying to avoid, but you can avoid it by, you can't change what the vehicle is going to do. Pay very close attention to this. You cannot change. If a vehicle is going to depreciate like this, there's nothing you can do to change that. The only factors you play is how much you drive. High mileage drivers, you're depreciating like this. Your slope is steep. You're putting 100,000 miles on cars in 4 years. Your car goes from 40,000 to daggone 15,000 in 4 years. Like that's the way you do. Your normal driver is going to look like this. So you can't change that. What you can do is you can say, are you going to keep the vehicle long enough to avoid that? You're riding out the depreciation. Who has a vehicle in here that they've had outside their house right now? Right now. It's older than 8 years. I want you to type the number of years in the chat. Let me know how many years you've had the vehicle in your driveway. If it's more than 8, I want you to type 12 years, 11 years. If it's more than 8, I want you to type the number. Okay, I see you. The next 11 years. No, not 2, Kathy. It has to be more than 8. All right, 12 years. I see you. All right, I see you, Happy. 8 years. Raw Doggy, 18 years. Okay, TT, 18 and a half years. Charlie, 35 years. Okay, so when we look at this, this is how you beat depreciation. This is the goal. This is the goal of the purchase. You need to understand, Chef, that that's the goal of the purchase. See, they're not thinking when their Jeep Grand Cherokee value decreases after 2 years or 3 years. They're not thinking that way. They're long-term. See, short-term people who don't lease are the ones that are concerned about depreciation. Pay close attention, because you're getting the mindset of why not understanding leasing is super expensive. Because when you're them, you're not concerned with depreciation. TT is not concerned. She's had a vehicle 8.5 years, 35 years, like 18 years raw dog he's had. That vehicle, he's gotten the value out of it. And the more you keep the vehicle, the more value you get out of it. But if you're short term and you're looking to swap that vehicle out and go get another one, you are heavily concerned with depreciation, heavily. And the solution is you should be leasing. Let me show you someone who has a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Let me show you. Do I have Raphael? Where's she at? I don't even know if I have Raphael's deal, but I want to pull it in, because this was her second deal using our bidding system. Here we go. Now look at Raphael. So now she gets a 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee, $45,000 MSRP, $46,000 MSRP, $549 a month. $549 a month. Look, 3 weeks. $549. So now when you look, I'm not even going to show you Zafrina's deal. She got a $65,000 electric Jeep, $579 a month. So when you compare what it costs them to drive these trucks, brand new, no money down, they literally give them $579, drive off. Raphael gave them $549, drove off in her truck. That's different than you buying this whole Jeep Grand Cherokee. Same price vehicles they're buying, call it close to $50,000. No money down, you're leaving out at $900 a month, $1,000 a month. You might put 10 grand down, or you might throw your trade in there as a down payment to get to $800 a month. But you're not getting to a $600 payment on a Jeep Grand Cherokee buying it. Maybe you bought a 3-year-old one and you might be paying the same payment as they're paying. But think about this. Why would I pay the same payment? Because some of you are like, oh man, Deshone, I buy used cars. Is that better than leasing? Not if you're a short-term person. Because what you're doing is, you take somebody like Raphael, she's pulling up $549 a month, brand new $50,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee, $46,000 Jeep, what's the MSRP? $46,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. Now you got that same vehicle, but you bought it used. So instead of $46,000, you found one for, let's say 20. Let's say instead of 46, you got a nice one, 28,000. 28,000. Let's round it up with taxes. Be generous. Let's just say 30,000 with taxes. What's the car payment on that, people? What is the car payment on a vehicle that is $30,000? Type into the chat. Some of you know, based on our $5,000 rule, what's the car payment on a vehicle for $30,000? Thank you, Happy. $600. Thank you. Man, my people on point, man. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the people that's on point, locked in. I know y'all. I don't have to worry about y'all. So $600 a month. Now look at this. That's if we found a used one at a great price, 20-something thousand, high 20s with taxes, we at 30. So we're leaving out the dealership paying $600 a month for a used vehicle, 3 or 4 years old, 1 year warranty left, or potentially no warranty after a year. So versus someone who's driving a brand new $65,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee electric, $579 a month, or like Raphael, who's driving her limited for $549 a month. She's pulling up next to you in the same vehicle, but the new version, you're paying more than her. This does not make financial sense, and there's no way to justify it because you're not getting the money back. If you were going to say, Deshone, yeah, I'm paying more now, but in 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, when I sell this thing, watch how much I get back. If that was the case, then it'd be different. That's not the case. You don't get the money back that you put into these cars. That's why the people who learn from me, who get below market leases, we're never putting the money in the car. We're putting hundreds of dollars, couple hundred in. We're driving these brand new cars. We get the mileage we need. We adjust the mileage. If you need 12,000, you get 12. You get 18. You need 18,000, you get 18,000. You need 25,000, you get 25,000 mile a year leases. But you don't buy these cars, tie up all this money, not get it back when you trade them in, and then go and do it over and over again and just stay in this depreciation cycle. Just stay in this depreciation cycle all the time. You're living in this depreciation cycle. You're never getting to the people who we talked about 8 minutes ago who are here, keeping their cars 18 years, 12 years, 10 years, where their depreciation is like this. This is the reward for purchasing. If you're not trying to get here, you should not be purchasing. You should be shopping for below market leases. So you can't beat depreciation in the short run, Jeff. To answer your question, to wrap this up, you're trying to beat depreciation in the short term. You cannot do it. The car is going to depreciate, and it doesn't matter the payoff. You could have took a 3-year loan. You would be paying more. Your loan would be going away quicker, but you probably took a 5 or 6 year loan, God forbid, a 7-year loan. Now your loan's not going to move fast at all, but the car's value is always going to move. So the key is, this is step 1 in my book. We need to know, are we putting our deal on the lease foundation or the purchase foundation? How are we going to beat depreciation? Long-term ownership, 8+ years, or below market lease? Those are the only 2 ways. That's the only 2 ways to beat depreciation. That's step 1 in my book, the most important question. Okay? All of this you can get 75% off as my welcome offer to you for getting cars from home, my new digital book, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's already 5-star rated. You can type it into Google. You'll see all the reviews online. Shout out to everyone who reviewed the book on Goodreads. And the book is just everything I teach. Everything you hear on my streams, it's in there step by step so that you don't have to remember this. So you can go to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the Facebook comments, or the YouTube comments. And if you get there before 30 minutes is up, you get your copy for 75% off the whole blueprint. The bank bidding war is in there, selling leases, high mileage driving strategies, all in there step by step for you guys. All right. Once you get your book, make sure you screenshot the thank you page, though. As soon as you pay, you're going to see a page that says screenshot this page. You can open the book link there, but you'll also have my support team's email, because sometimes you're typing fast and you type your email wrong, and we can't send the book to a wrong email. So make sure you screenshot that page so you can have the support team's email. Go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next question in. Hey, what to do if I'm upside down and need a new vehicle? Well, you can only get out of negative equity 2 ways. This is also in my book. You can pay the difference, or you can move it over, transfer it. Now, the third option with negative equity is you don't get a car. This is what I call the bad credit for people with good credit. Negative equity is the bad credit for people with good credit, because when I was in the dealership, some of you know I worked for Mercedes for 5 years, General Motors 5 years. The only people who couldn't get a car who had great credit was people with too much negative equity. So what you're looking for is you're looking to see, doing the equity assessment, what is the most I can get for my car? Because let's say the dealer tells you your car is only worth $14,000. but you owe $16,000. They're going to tell you you have $2,000 of negative equity. That's why we never get our prices of what our car is worth from a dealer. We do this from home during our equity assessment. This takes us 20 minutes. We go on CarMax.com, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation, and Car Guru, Sell My Car. This is 6 cash offers that we're going to get in 20 minutes. So now these are the most competitive offers we're going to get, and that's going to tell us the least amount of negative equity that we would have. So if the highest bidder from the online buyers pays you 18 and you only owe 19, then you have $1,000 of negative equity. I would come up with the 1,000 and sell to the highest bidder. This is what I call paying the difference. Why is that the first option? Because you can now shop your car deal, get bids for your new car, and you don't have to bring over baggage from your old car. Now, your baggage from your old car wouldn't be a bad thing if you could guarantee that whoever, all right, let's say CarMax wants to pay you 19 for your old car, but you can't pay the difference. You owe too much more than that, and you can't pay the difference. Now you have to transfer, or you have to, use this word we don't use, which is trade. You have to trade. The only time that you can't get bids for your old car to maximize the value is in a negative equity situation. That's why we don't like it. So now, instead of me being able to sell my car in the open market to the highest bidder, I need the dealership that I buy a car from to add my negative equity to the deal. And the bad part about it is there's no guarantee they're going to give me the same thing Carvana was going to give me. If Carvana was going to give me 19 and they were the highest offer, there's no guarantee the dealership that I'm buying from could match Carvana's offer. In most cases, they can't. They're going to say, hey, that was Carvana. It's worth 19 to them. It's only worth 17 to us. That's the most we could pay. And they're not lying in a lot of those cases. They can't. First of all, they've already won the bid to sell you a car. They beat all their competitors. Now we want them to win another bid and beat all the people who wanted to buy a car from. That's just not going to happen in most cases. So you end up with more negative equity when you have to trade, because the dealer who ends up able to, absorb your car does not have, can't pay you what some of these online companies can. So I always say, get the online companies buy offers first. See if you can pay the difference. That's going to be the least amount of negative equity you have. That'll allow you to move with no baggage, and that's going to be the best thing for you. Now, that's the 2 strategies in my book for negative equity. 2 strategies. Now, if you need to transfer, now you have to take into account loan to value ratios. Depends on how much negative equity you have. Do you have 4,000, 3,000? That could usually be transferred over to most cars and go right on top of the purchase price, and you're going to be fine. But if you have $10,000 or $15,000 of negative equity, there's not many cars that you can switch over to, and it's going to allow you to absorb all of that unless you get a big discount. If you get a big discount, you look at somebody like Milligan. Milligan gets, $27,000 off her. Where's her deal at? She gets $27,000 off her Mercedes EQE. It was $79,000. She ends up getting it for $51,000. That's bidding. She gets all the discount and all the rebates. And now you look at somebody like Kimberly. Kimberly gets $20,000 off of her Maserati. $86,000 vehicle, 87. She gets $20,700 off. If she had to roll over 15 grand of negative equity to this deal, she could do it. So the bigger the amount of negative equity, the more you need to search for a car that the best offer on it, the below market offer on it, gives you a lot of rebates, a lot of discounts, 7, 10 grand, 12 grand off, so that you can roll that negative equity over. And 99 times out of 100, you should be rolling it over to a lease, because once the lease is paid off in 3 years, you're gone, and the negative equity is gone. And it's a hedge, because this has happened to people. They didn't plan on it, but they'll roll over 5 grand of negative equity or 10 grand of negative equity to a lease. Vehicle gets totaled. Gap insurance kicks in. They go out, they get a new car, and they're fresh. So with a lease, you're burying the negative equity into the lease, and you're paying it off in 3 years, and then you're fresh. And in the case of a, God forbid, total, or the vehicle stolen and not recovered, it's gone. Negative equity is gone. So it's the best way. Going from a negative equity situation to another finance makes no sense to me, unless it was an emergency and you had to switch cars. That's the only time, like you were planning on keeping the car 8 years, 10 years, but there was an emergency. Maybe your wife had triplets and the car doesn't work anymore. Now you have to go and get a bigger car, but you're a long-term person. That's the only case. The other cases, you should be flipping negative equity into a lease. That's the solution. Go ahead, Dolan. Great questions, great questions, great questions. Have you explained the lease? Well, the lease is very simple. It's for short-term people, and short-term means I'm not keeping my car long enough to ride out the depreciation. See, short-term is not a 5 years, 8 years, it's 3 years, no, it's the depreciation curve looks like this on a car. So a short-term person is not going to get here. You're not keeping your cars 8 years to where you're going to ride out the depreciation and now you're not losing value. Car's paid off. You got a great asset in the driveway, and you're going to keep it for another 2, 3, 4, 5 years to get the most money out of it. That's the purchase route. That's how you're beating depreciation there. Leasing is for people who are going to, you've been taught that you should buy, even though this is your ownership cycle. This is your ownership cycle. It looks like this. I buy a car, it loses 50% of its value in 5 years. I go and I do it again. Trade it in, replace it, do it again. Every single car I buy, I'm losing thousands and thousands of dollars in depreciation. Then I go and do it again. I never let it cool off. And I'm putting a lot of money into these cars because I buy the whole car. $40,000 car, $25,000 used car, whatever. I'm putting all the money into these cars, and then I'm replacing them before the depreciation cools off. Leasing is how you is for you to get off that roller coaster, get off that sliding board. That's a losing battle, and you're paying thousands and thousands of dollars more for that right. You're paying for that privilege that gives you no benefits. No benefit. You can see, and that's the reason why I teach about depreciation, so that you can understand when people say, oh, well, I like to buy my cars because I want to drive as much as I want. They don't understand. If you bought a car for 40 and you put average miles on it, this is how it looks. If you bought a car for 40 and you put high mileage on it, this is how it looks. It doesn't stay like that. It goes down. No matter what you pay for, how much you drive on a car, even if you own it. If you put 100,000 miles on your car in a year, you come back, what is it worth? Whole lot less. Whole lot less. Like, this is not even close. So the key, when you understand this is what I call the unseen expense, depreciation. Then you understand, okay, being that I'm going to pay for my car, whether I buy or lease, which option allows me to pay less? That's based on my lifestyle. If I'm going to keep my car 8, 9, 10 years, buying allows me to pay less in the long run. In the short term, buying is more expensive. Remember, we already compared somebody like Zafrina's lease, she's paying $579 a month, driving a $65,000 car. We compared that to a used version. Somebody gets a used version for $30,000. They're paying $600 a month to drive a used version, 3, 4 years old. Somebody who wants to buy a brand new version like Safrina got, $65,000 car, that's a $1,300 a month payment. Even with a big discount. Let's say, well, Deshone, what if they got a huge discount? $15,000 off. Okay, let's play the game. So they get a huge $15,000 discount off that same Jeep that Zafrina got. So instead of paying $65,000, let's go back to her so everybody can play along. So instead of paying, hold on, no, that's not. All right, so $65,000, she gets a $15,000 discount. So instead of paying 65, she pays 50. What's the payment on that? Come on, type into the chat. Stay close to the chat. She gets it for she gets it for 50. Huge big discount. What's her payment on a $50,000 purchase? Some of you know we got to do our math, because every $5,000, $100 a month, we could see if anybody's going to type it in. What would her payment be? Once in a lifetime, huge discount, $15,000 off. $1,000. $1,000. $1,000. So let's compare these three so that we can understand that this is not even close. You have Zafrina, who's driving a $65,000 vehicle for $579 a month. She's leasing it, 12,000 miles per year. If We compared a used version of this vehicle that we basically took half price. Basically took half price. Let's say she's magically found a great used vehicle with good mileage and magically found it for half price. We already know that ain't gonna happen. And y'all know why I'm doing this. You can see, dag, if we're being extra conservative and these numbers are still nowhere close, imagine how much you're really losing by not understanding this. If we use real numbers, if we use like more accurate numbers, you're not getting a $15,000 discount. You're not getting a half price discount on a used one. You might get it for like 40. So that 40,000, that's an $800 a month payment. 30,000, $600 a month payment. Brand new one with a big discount, $1,000 a month payment. None of these are close to what Zafrina's paying at $579 for what she's getting. Driving a brand new vehicle, not tying up her money, driving a brand new vehicle. No, so that's what I'm saying. The reason why leasing versus buying is step one in my book is because if you buy, but you should have leased, you cannot get a great deal anymore. You cannot. That's why you're like, you may write me and be like, Deshone, man, I figured out I shouldn't be buying anymore. Should I stay in this car? Or should I switch to a lease now? There's no benefit in you staying in it. If you can swap from a finance to a lease or from a purchase to a lease right now, you should be doing that right now. There's no benefit to staying in a finance if you're not keeping the car long enough to get here. You're just delaying the inevitable, putting more money into the car, driving less car than you could be driving for the money you're paying. There's no benefits there. No benefits there. So that's it. Everything we're talking about is in my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Our entire process is called Cars from Home. 90% of what we do to get these below market deals is at home with a computer. So you don't need to be a great negotiator to get these prices that you're seeing people pay. You do need to have the blueprint, and Cars from Home, my new digital book, is the blueprint, and you can get a copy for 75% off. It's normally $97, and it's worth every penny of $97, but $24 is better. If you can get to my bio before the 30-minute timer goes to 0, you can get your copy for 75% off, which is $24, and you'll have everything we're talking about, everything we haven't had time to talk about so far: leasing, buying, below market deals, purchases, below the bank bidding war, where we have banks and credit unions bidding. All of this is laid out for you step by step in the book. So grab your copy in my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments. Get there before 30 minutes is up. Okay, go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next question in. Body envy sculpting. What if you drive a lot of miles with a lease? That's very simple. You're still depreciating your vehicle whether you buy or lease. So let's just say you are driving 30,000 miles per year, but you're buying. You're destroying the value of your car. So you're paying for that. If you were going to sell a car today and it was 30, it had, let's say it's a used car, it has 40,000 miles on it. You go out this year and you drive another 30,000 miles. When you come back, you just, whatever you were going to sell the car for with 40,000 miles, forget it. Like, you put another 30,000 miles in 1 year, your value just dropped tremendously. High mileage drivers, you are getting killed the worst with depreciation, because you get these deals and you structure these deals like you're not a high mileage driver. That's why when I was at the dealership, some of you know I've spent 14 years in dealerships, 4 years in my own brokerage, 5 years in Mercedes, 5 with General Motors. So when I was in the dealership, people would come in, especially when Uber first started, and they would have like a 5-year-old Honda, but it had 250,000 miles on it. And that wouldn't be a problem, except they still owed like 12 grand on it. That's the problem. So it's not that you're structuring your loan in a way where you drive The only way for you to not have big negative equity every deal, 10 to 15,000 or more, is you would have to be putting that money down. You would have to be making large down payments to stay out of negative equity, being a high mileage short-term driver who's trying to replace their cars in 3-4 years, because it's inevitable. And then um, you'd have to take a shorter loan. That's people's solution for high mileage drivers. You should either put more money down so you can avoid negative equity, or you should take a shorter loan. So instead of a 6-year loan, you should take a 4-year loan. Now, if you're just doing this mileage based on your normal life, business, your profession, then you should be leasing. If you could predict the mileage. If you can predict the mileage, then you should be leasing. And I'm gonna tell you where I learned this. I learned this from a customer when I was a manager at Hyundai. I was a manager at Hyundai for 6 weeks. Dealership was not for me, but 6 weeks I was there and I learned something very valuable. I was helping a guy return his lease. He had a Hyundai Sonata, and I looked at the mileage because we have to get the mileage at the end of the lease. It's 72,000 miles. And I asked him, I said, "You lease this?" He said, "Yeah, I always lease now. I used to buy it and I always would have negative equity. All I do is lease now. I pay a little more and then I drive my 25,000 miles a year. I get my 25,000 mile a year leases and that's it. I come every 3 years, I get me another one." He was in sales. Since then, I've been telling any one of my clients listen, let's take a look at a lease. Because when I looked at his payment, if a great deal on a Hyundai Sonata at the time, why my nose itching? If a great deal let's say a great deal on a Hyundai Sonata at that time might have been $350 a month. Let's say he was paying $550, $525. He wasn't paying $800. He wasn't paying double. He was literally paying like $175 more per month to drive 25,000 miles a year. Huge, huge benefit. Now, if you don't know how to get good lease deals and you go and you try to do a high mileage lease, then it's going to suck. Because they're going to hit you with a high lease to begin with. And then they're going to say, "Oh, you want 25,000 miles? You want 20,000 miles? Oh, now you're going to be at 1,000 or 20. But if you do like what Jen did, Jen she uses our system. She gets her bids for a Honda CRV hybrid, very popular vehicle, has been for the last 3 years. She gets a $39,000 vehicle, $512 a month, no money down. That's a 1.3% lease. And then she adjusted it from 12,000 miles to 18,000 miles. Payment went from $512 to $563. Look. And then after that, she put money down because she wanted to lower her payment. See, we always talk about when you put money down, you have to lower it. You always have a good deal, a great deal, before you put money down. Money down is just to lower your payment on an already great deal. You can't buy your way to a great deal. You can't. So she had a 1.3% lease, and then she bumps it up to $563 a month. See, so some people who didn't understand lease structure, knowing they needed 18,000 miles per year like Jen, they would take the 12. They take the 12, take the $512 a month payment, not even ask, "Hey, how much would it cost me to get 18,000? Because that's what I need." She pays $45 more per month. She drives 18,000. She could bring that vehicle back with 60,000 miles on it in 3 years, and she could do it again and get another one. And she's not taking the depreciation hit. She's paying a small amount to drive that vehicle over the next 3 years. That's the benefit of getting below market lease deals. Hey, Ava. Hey, no problem. Yeah, thank you for what you do. No, thank you. Thanks for showing up. I'm here for the people who locked in. That is what I'm here for. I'm here. I want you guys writing me, sending me your deals, sending me your offers, sending me what you get when you pick up your car, saying, "Hey, go into Goodreads, adding your reviews to the book," because that's what matters. That's all that matters. I hold myself accountable to what the people do. That's it. I don't when I set out to teach, it was all about, God, we have to deliver a system where people can get the same results I get. If you can't get the same results I get, then it sucks. It's not a system. It's not a system. That's why I show all the people who I can on these streams without showing them all day. I could show 100 people on a stream, but then we just be sitting here looking at people all day long. All right. All right. So listen, y'all, we've been on for a little over an hour. Look, everything that if you're like, Deshone, I want the whole blueprint, you can get it for $24. It's normally $97. This is my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Everything about below market deals is in there step by step. There's 7 steps in our system. 7 steps. First step is the most important question. How many years are you keeping the next vehicle? The second, what did I say? First step? First step is the most important question. Second step is the equity assessment. Third step is deal structure. Fourth step is shopping, not buying. Fifth step is multiple offers. Sixth step is paperwork and protection. Seventh step is delivery. 7 steps to below market deals for leases, purchases, new cars, used cars, all step by step. So you can get your copy as part of my welcome offer for 75% off. You won't pay the normal $97 price. You can go to my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio, or click the link in the YouTube comments or the Facebook comments, but it's only for 30 minutes. If you visited the site and the timer hit 0, then unfortunately, welcome offers away. The book is still worth every penny of $97. It'd still be one of the most valuable books, but $24 is better if you get there before the 30 minutes is up. So keep me posted. We'll be back for more streams. Hold on, let me see this. Lease a car. When leasing a car and you don't use all your mileage, do they give you a refund at the end of the lease? No, raw doggy, but that's why we assess our equity. So take somebody like my mother. She's a low mileage driver. Her lease is up on her Mazda. We assess her equity. If the vehicle has retained value because of the lower mileage, we're going to sell that and put money in her bank account. So even if we have a vehicle, leasing is also a hedge against vehicles for vehicles that don't lose value a lot, be it through natural depreciation or be it through I bought 15,000 miles. I thought I was going to use it, but I only use 10,000 miles a year. So now I'm 15,000 miles under. Okay, let's assess the equity. Let's see if we can sell that vehicle, put $2,000-$3,000 in your pocket, and then now that's a bonus. You basically leased and got a rebate at the end. Kind of new to this, where's the bio to get your book? Raw Doggy, you click the picture of me on TikTok. There's a picture of me right up here. If you're on Instagram, same picture of me. It'll take you to my profile, and you'll see a website there, a link. There's a link there, and then you click that, and then click the button that says 75% off new book. Okay, all of you who have been asking about the Shop with Deshone program, you can certainly go to my bio and see if you qualify for that. I do shop with certain people all around the country for people who want a more personalized learning experience. Some of you are done with you. You might be a done with you person. So if you're a do-it-yourself person, that is the blueprint. Cars from Home, 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. That is the blueprint. But if you're a done with me person, if you like to do things with people, personally, then you could also go to my bio and you can get information about the Shop with Deshone program. I don't care how you do it. Just get in where you fit in, get multiple offers, unlearn what you've been taught, or I can't even say what you've been taught. If you think about it, no one taught you to buy a car. They programmed us. We didn't go into school. We didn't learn. This is how it was like. It was a programming. So that's why we have to unlearn that and relearn the new way. And then, the success is guaranteed. So God bless you. I will see y'all on the next stream. Everyone who got the book, congratulations. Use it. Win all day. God bless you.